Okay, it is Street Talk time, and was that not a Swarla-rific week of Coronation Street? Gemma, are your eyes still wet from the tears that have been streaming down your cheeks all week?
It was a bad time for relationships in general, wasn't it?
Only Swarla matter, Gemma.
Wow, Todd and Theo not having a great.
They're not having the best. No, they're not having the best times this week, are they, Todd and Theo? No, I mean, I condolences to all the hardcore Swarla massive out there. This was a rough week for you, and I still, it's gonna get better. This is not gonna stay this way. They will make up at some point. I don't know whether it's like going to be a case of in a week or so's time, or will it be a Christmas? And where would you kind of, if you were to put a pin in a calendar to say this is when they'll be back together? What are you kind of thinking at the moment?
I'm not going to say.
Do you know?
I'm not going to say. I said I'm not going to say. So.
Well, those 3 Christmas stockings that are on the mantelpiece in number 6 when we were there for the press tour the other week. I mean, this is raising all kinds of questions now. I don't know whether I'd like them to stay split for a bit, just to, keep us on our toes, or whether I want to just say, look, we know they're going to get back together, just flip and well, get on and do it. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they're back together by Christmas. In fact, it would surprise me if they're not back together by Christmas, I will go so far as to say. But I guess time will tell. Maybe it'll mean a little break for the storyline for a little bit. Do you have some clickbait to start us off, Gemma?
I do, but can I plug my phone in,
I've been riffing for
please?
long. Oh yeah, you're playing. Hang on a minute. Yes, I will just. I've got to unplug the electric blanket for that.
No, I thought you said you were hot.
Yeah, I am. I am hot. But okay, hang on a minute. Right, go on then, Gemma. Quiz me up. No, we've done the quiz. Clickbait me up. What's been going on in the world of Corrie journalism this week?
Right, first one is from the Manchester Evening News. And it says, Emmerdale fans declare no way as Coronation Street crossover clue spotted.
Oh, I saw about this. So in Emmerdale, as we know, having visited it this summer, they have got a wedding planner business, haven't they, on the main street there? And this week on Emmerdale, I believe a character who works at said wedding planning outlet commented that there is a bridezilla in Manchester who wants to book a choir for a wedding, and they're saying, "Oh, this is Debbie wanting a dementia choir."
That's right. That is exactly it. So it was Belle.
Yes.
Somebody called Belle who works at Take a Vow. She said, "I've got a bridezilla in Manchester demanding a choir singer at a wedding. That's a crisis."
Well, I mean, it's not like. I mean, they know what choir they want, so it's not like they're saying we've got to find a choir. I'd like to think it was a reference because, as far as I know so far, there haven't been any out and out overt, this is a Coronation Street thing in Emmerdale yet. Like, we've had Emmerdale stuff in Corrie.
Yeah, there's been that Sugden poster.
Yeah, the John Sugden poster, which was very prominently displayed in one scene this week.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
What else has there been?
Well, there's the comment from the bridezilla thing. Oh no!
No, that was in Emmerdale, wasn't
yeah,
that?
Sorry,
so that was a maybe, but yeah, the only absolute definite was the John Sugden Emmerdale picture appearing in Coronation Street. But yeah, I'd like to think that at some point they will, go the same the other way. Next article, Gemma, what have we got?
I've got.
I know we had loads this week, didn't we? You don't
I'm not
to do them all.
Coronation Street fans rage. It does my head in as they're distracted by blatant and jarring corner shop blunder, but can you spot it? From the Daily Mail.
Oh, I don't have a clue about what that is. It does my head in, something in the corner shop. Is it something to do with like the food looking fake, or just general, like the plastic sandwiches in the cooler that we all know are there if you get a close look at it?
Well, it's something to do with the food being fake, I suppose. Yeah.
Go on then.
It is that there wasn't even a barcode on a sandwich.
What?
I know.
Come on, Gleason. What are you doing with your packaging designs
on TikTok, this was.
No barcode on a packet of sandwiches.
And then everybody was moaning about them not having any liquid in their mugs.
Oh yeah, well we had that this week when Theo brought out his his empty mug of coffee to Pete, wasn't it, outside? Like, hello, Coco, here's a cup of coffee for you. Just swishing it about all over the place with nothing inside. I didn't notice that at the corner shop with the sandwich. There are some more eagle-eyed viewers than me out there. Next.
Coronation Street fans spot Debbie Webster's support after working out Cole's plan before exit. Manchester Evening News.
They spot Debbie Webster's support.
Who's going to support her?
Glenda.
No.
Ryan.
No.
Oh, I've run out of people now. Who else did Debbie have a conversation with this week? I don't know. But is it somebody obvious?
I don't think it's that obvious.
Go on then, who is it?
You're not really putting any effort into this at all.
I am trying to put a bit of effort into it, but I want to get on talking about the Leeds from Carla split as well. I am going to say Eva?
No, it's Tracy.
Why Tracy?
I don't know. They just said Tracy.
Oh, okay. What a great story.
Oh, wow. I didn't write this.
Okay, you want to do one more before we get cracking on this week's stories?
Coronation Street fans figure out brewing Tyrone Dobbs problem amid Fizz's struggle, from the Manchester Evening News.
Oh, I think I maybe saw something about this. Is it related to his gaming habits?
Yes.
Is it something to do with microtransactions?
Yeah, like just gambling and playing.
Yeah.
Spending money on games. Who would do such a thing?
Never do. I'm not. I'm not a microtransaction type of person. I played The Simpsons Tapped Out for 10, 11, 12 years, however long it was going, and I probably only spent less than £5 on premium donuts in that. Come on. But if, like I've said many times before, were they to bring back Coronation, the Coronation Street 50th anniversary, it wasn't a mobile game because such a thing didn't exist back then. It was a Facebook game. I don't think I'd be able to help myself from spending copious amounts of Patreon earnings on getting my virtual Ina Sharples.
Then we'd have to be in the Daily Mail like, my husband's gambling problem ruined my Coronation Street podcast.
I just wanted the alternate costume for Minnie Caldwell. She's in a bikini.
Oh my God. Right, thank you, Jonathan, for sending us that clickbait.
Yes.
Now, Michael, I'm going to tell you what the stories are.
You tell me, I'm going to finish off my tea.
The first one, Michael has dubbed Swarla
I don't think...
in a super sensitive move.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? But I'm sure that I'm not the only person that's come up with that. I don't know whether I've read that somewhere else or and then forgotten it, but I'm going to claim that I come up with it as an original idea.
So that is all the fallout, Becky and Lisa and Carla, in case you've not heard of those characters before. We've also got Undertaker Under the Thumb with Theo and Todd getting, worse every week. We've got the Dementia storyline with Debbie having come back for a holiday and now she's trying to decide how to move forward with her job.
Her business.
Mm-hmm. We've got Fizz is over, buggering off to Debbie's hotel for a nice
it
spa
was
day.
a rookie move, wasn't it, really? If you want to get... It's like Becky, I'm undercover, just walking around blatantly, and then Fizz is like, I'm going to go somewhere where no one will ever find me. The hotel that features in nearly every episode.
Yep.
Oh, come on.
Asha crashes, so but this time it was Summer.
Yes! Oh! Summer.
A little bit of nostalgia there for everybody who enjoyed.
Well, Summer's Robot. We didn't actually he wasn't in the room to watch it with him, but that probably would have brought a tear to his eye circuit.
Do you think we should put him in the front room to watch Coronation Street with us?
No,
he probably wonders what she's up to now.
He probably does. That one you can find out. Has he got ears? I'm not sure. Yeah, Summer did have a classic summer fainting fit today, didn't she? Except I don't think when she used to faint, I don't remember her being quite so camera effecty and woozy like she was today.
Well,
I think she just...
how are you supposed to know what's happening unless there's a camera effect?
Well, exactly.
The final storyline is called Kevin Pubster.
Yeah.
Like Webster.
Yeah,
with
but
a pub.
Yeah. It's alright, isn't it? Yeah, it was only for Monday's episode. There was also a tiny little bit, which I guess we could just get out the way now, which was Dee Dee looking at, where is she going? Singapore. She was having a look at Singapore on her laptop when she in the pub.
Chewing gum.
Oh, is that
it's not banned in Singapore?
Is it? Yes, she wants to go on holiday or whatever to Singapore, and James wants to go with her or something. So I don't know. There's a story bubbling away there. or bubble going away there maybe, and that was all that happened there. So Swarla Geddon, oh my gosh, Gemma, this was something that if you are a Coronation Street fan on Twitter, you kind of knew that was happening because people were counting down the days for this time bomb to explode, weren't they?
Yeah.
And I was, we've said all along that Carla and Lisa are going to come out smelling of roses. They are 100% going to get married. I kind of was firmly in the camp of they're not going to split up. So in a way, I wasn't necessarily expecting this before it happened, but it does it totally makes sense for the narrative of the story, doesn't it? Because it's they come through all these adversities to get together, and will they, won't they, and then they're a solid power couple like Sally was saying today, and then they split up but they'll come back stronger. It kind of makes sense. I mean, not much in this story actually makes sense, as you've pointed out many times, but I think narratively having this couple split up just so that they can have a grand reunion at some point further down the line and probably put a ring on it with, I'm going to say, Becky 6 foot under or scattered somewhere over the dales maybe. That is very likely to happen. But it did allow for a very intense episode on Wednesday, didn't it?
It did, yeah. I mean, I think almost every couple who's an important couple on Corrie is going to have a temporary split. Like, I can't think of a single couple who've never had any trouble at all. If you want your couple to be in stories, the stories are going to end up being about their relationship, and there's not very many things that happen in relationships on a soap that aren't involving breaking up. That's just how soaps are. Yeah,
breaking up, or at least having a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, having a split, temporary split or whatever. But I'm thinking, like, it's always inevitable that Carla and Lisa were going to break up at some point, albeit temporarily. And I know that lots of people, like, Becky coming back from the dead, like, looks more and more like a bad idea the longer it goes on because of how little sense it makes. But I will give it to Corrie because I think that, much like the way that Bhavna Limachia thought that there was no way that Rana and Kate would break up, or that, she wanted to leave and she couldn't imagine making those two split up, much like that would kind of force the way the story was, I think that Becky coming back was kind of needed to break this couple up, because I can't think of many other reasons that I think the Swarla fans would have accepted for Lisa and Carla to have broken up that didn't really put too much of a blame on either of them. And I know that there are camps who blame Lisa and camps that blame Carla, and obviously everyone blames Becky, but this really feels like such an impossible situation for both of these characters, and I see how they're both. I think Carla's probably the one who's got the least blame.
I'm going to say that if I'm team anybody, I'm team Carla here. And I'm not just saying it because she's been on Corrie the longest.
She's like,
I feel really bad for her.
She's the person I think is acting the most like it makes sense to me. And it feels like I would think I would act that way. And I think often we'll say like, oh, that's what I would do. But I don't think that that's always true.
And she was very patient and accommodating of Becky for a little while at the beginning as well. But she's tried the patience of a saint, this spiky-haired spectre, as she was referred to this week.
This poor Lisa, and she's making terrible decisions because she is so confused and she's being manipulated and bamboozled by Becky, who I think one of the biggest stumbling points in this whole story is that we don't know who Becky is, and we never did. This would play so differently if it was a love story that we'd seen on screen at all, and we knew, because the trouble is what Lisa's saying about Becky doesn't marry at all to what Becky actually is like the way that Lisa spoke about her and how her experiences of their marriage and what it was like. We got snippets now and then of like, she seems like a bit annoying, like, oh, she doesn't do birthdays, so I have to buy a birthday present after her birthday, like, that's so awkward and annoying. But like, she has a bench with like, she's heroic and lovely and whatever, but she just turns up like this petulant, annoying child who's constantly needing the toilet. You know what I mean? When you're trying to watch a film.
I know what you mean, but I still do not mind Becky.
No, but what
whatsoever.
I'm saying,
I find her very. Go on. Sorry.
We don't know. We only know what Lisa had told us. Then Becky turns up. She's nothing like it, and we don't know her, and we haven't experienced them as a couple or being in love or anything, and so we can't at all understand Becky's perspective, even though you definitely have latched onto her point of view.
Yes.
And so Lisa's reaction seems kind of unreasonable and strange, because to us this is a stranger, this is a lady we don't know, and there's Lisa crying her eyes out, and we're like, but she's annoying. She's annoying, she has bad fashion. What are you upset about? But if this truly was your wife...
I still find it hilarious that so many people just cling on to the fact that Becky's got a bad coat, and it's like,
she's not got a bad
coat. Me at all.
I know that because I've seen what you wear. And I've also seen what I wear, which is worse than what Becky wears, but I'm not on television.
Of course, this makes sense now.
How did Lisa go from Becky, who looks like she rolled into a charity shop, and that's like rude about charity shops because they got some good stuff in there, but she rolled into the bags that was left outside the charity shop by the charity shop because they didn't want to accept them, and then rolled straight in, and then she went from that to a woman who has books about Prada and runs a fashion business. How did she do it?
Yeah, I think that the Becky that we have come to know over the past couple of months is nothing at all like anybody actually pictured about her. But I still don't mind her.
If your beloved wife, who died in a tragic way, came back from the dead, and you had moved on with your life, and it turned out she was fibbing to you, you would still be so conflicted. And if she keeps saying, I'm going to be killed, I don't understand why Lisa can't see that she's obviously lying, but she can't. And it's clear that there's been manipulation going on in that relationship for a long time, because I think that I don't think Lisa see any changes in Becky. I think she's always been like that. But I don't think Lisa can see it. And we all know, I mean, Todd and Theo are kind of similar, where everyone can see what's going on, or to an extent they can, not as bad as it actually is. But they're all like, why? I don't understand why Todd can't see what everyone else is so obvious.
Yeah, I get all of that, but I still am in some way clinging to the fact that even though I totally agree that Becky is very childish and manipulative in a way, I still think that if I was married to somebody and then for whatever reason I was spirited away to the Costa del Sol for 4 years, and was separated from my friends, my family, everybody, I maybe would develop a bit of an obsession for getting back with you, and I'd be like, well, screw whoever Gemma's ended up with while I'm away. Sorry, I want her back.
So would you win me back by pretending that you were being hunted by a gang and then getting drunk on my new husband's best wine?
I might not do that, but or maybe I would be thinking, me and Gemma deserve to. We belong together, and I would do what it takes.
I think you'd be more mad about the cat. You'd be like, I want my cat at least.
Yeah, let's. I'll meet you halfway.
Me and my new husband will be sitting on the sofa drinking wine together, which you won't do with me. Talking about how rubbish Becky's outfits are, which you won't do with me. And you can have the cat.
So I still say that I part of me sees where Becky is coming from, and I will also say that I don't find her annoying. I find her really fun to watch, and I think that there's not really any other character like her on Coronation.
Sorry, you're not going to like this, but she's like Kit.
She's not like Kit.
Yeah,
she's not.
Yeah, because I find Kit funny and you don't.
No, Kit is a massive grump. He's a big, tall, grumpy, humourless, bent. Well, I suppose that you might say that about Becky. We're still got to learn a little bit more about that. But he's not fun at all. Sorry, but I think that Becky is
mischievous.
Very mischievous. She's just puckish, isn't she? She's puck.
I said this before.
I know. And for that reason, I can't help but enjoy watching her. Even
she's even got the same hair as Puck. She's got like this pixie haircut.
Yeah, even this
She's
week.
like an evil Tinkerbell.
We were waiting at the end of certain scenes
we were.
just to see if she was going to give that classic soap opera villain smirk, and she didn't.
No, but she, you know that little...
There's a little...
That gif of the little girl
look.
who's standing in front of the fire as it burns, and she turns and looks at the camera and goes... Meh.
Was there a bit of that also?
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting from Becky.
Yeah.
Are you going to do this story, or am I?
You can do this one, I think. You can recount what's been going on, Shay, Lisa and Carla.
There's where we stand in general on the storyline, and I know that everyone's got very strong opinions, but as usual, I just would ask you to give space to other people, and let's all...
Well, I know people think that I'm nuts for still fighting a little bit for Becky here, and I'm not just doing it to be contrary or to being a devil's advocate.
Well, you accused me of thinking that her dress sense was bad because I was trying to get in with Swarla fans the other day, which is totally nuts.
But honestly, there's Becky. I just find a very fun character to watch, and I love the chaos that she brings. I've said this a million times before. I know it's not going to be forever. I really think that she's going to be dead in 6 months' time or under.
Yeah, let her have her fun.
Let her have exactly that. And Amy Cudden is doing such a brilliant job. I think she's a fab actress. She must have been a character that was brought in knowing that she was going to be ruffling feathers, and gosh, she has delivered there.
Put aside what you think of Amy Cudden performing as Becky, but when Becky's saying that, oh, I'm scared, oh, I've got a wreath, do you buy what she's saying? Because I don't. I think she comes across as really fake.
Yeah, but it's really hard to put aside the knowledge that
she's an actress.
That she would fake it.
Yeah.
But I just can't get over the fact that we've not actually seen anyone related to Curtis on screen.
No.
She's talking about all these gangsters coming after her, but nobody has ever seen them. So because of all that, and then I'm thinking about, the production side of it and everything, I'm thinking, well, she's got to be lying.
It's like Ghost Adventures, where they always find a ghost or a demon anywhere they go. Mm. It's like that, but with the Weatherfield Mafia.
Yeah. So is Lisa being too gullible for believing her, or
is she... bring out a Ouija board to communicate with Curtis.
Is Lisa being too gullible, or is Becky's performance realistic enough if you're in universe?
The thing is, she has to completely buy into the story that the reason why Becky left is because Curtis's gang were going to kill her. So she has to believe that's true, and she's completely bought into that, because there's no way in her mind that Becky just got fed up, or we don't even really know what Becky left for still, do we? We're assuming it's because she was greedy and she got in over her head. Mm. And maybe she was scared of being killed, but it wasn't like some big noble sacrifice that she made.
No.
So
still more to reveal.
Lisa has to believe 100% in what she's saying, because if she doesn't believe that, then she has to acknowledge that Becky just sodded off.
Yeah, that's true. Is also, she's saying to Carla, I'm doing this for Betsy. Yeah. I've got to take I can't take the risk.
Yeah.
And say, no way, this is a load of rubbish.
I think that's really important thing that a lot of people are missing, is that Lisa's protecting the mother of her child.
But it also doesn't make sense that she's protecting her child by inviting the bait to her house to live.
Yeah. I heard there are mice around, so let's bring the cheese inside. Leave the cheese outside. Let the mice eat the cheese. You don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, so even if Becky's fear, her protestations and her declarations that she's being chased by Curtis's men are as fake as the grass outside number 6, I do kind of get that Lisa might want to play it safe. What I can't side with Lisa with is, let's decorate a Christmas tree.
I tell you what annoyed me, and Carla brought it up, and I'm really glad somebody said it at last, but there still is no satisfactory answer to this. Why is there no timeline for going to Spain? Why has nobody said to Becky, when are you going back to Spain?
Because Costello said a few times, and she's like, we
know that, Michael, because she's not going to Spain. The reason we know she's not going to Spain is because she wants to take Lisa and Betsy with her.
Yeah.
That's the real true reason why she hasn't left yet. But why has nobody else except for Costello asked her, when are you going? And can I help you pack?
Well, I'm sure Carla would.
Because Carla brought it up and Lisa was like, oh, it's like, no, hang on a minute. I know we're having an argument, but answer the bloody sodden question. When is your dead wife going back to the grave, please?
Look, I am, as I said, I'm definitely on Team Carla here, but I do get that if you're Lisa, whatever she's like, even if she's far from perfect wife material, Becky, she is still going to find it hard to completely, cut all ties with the feelings that she used to have with this woman. And she's known her more intimately than anybody, and she's trusted her. So it's kind of natural that she'd want to open up to her.
They didn't get divorced. They didn't split up.
No. They had a bit of a tumultuous relationship at times.
They had an argument before she died.
Yeah.
And probably that's traumatised Lisa to think,
and I know
I don't want to ever argue with her again because the last time she died.
But she's in a very vulnerable position at the moment, is Lisa. But I still think that, having her stay over while Carla was away, decorating the Christmas tree, if she really 100% had her head screwed on and was 100% committed to this relationship with Carla, I don't think that she'd have done it. Yeah, I still think that she is committed to Carla, but she's not thinking with her heart.
But
fully.
You are not a grudge holder, and I don't understand why you can't see that Lisa's not a grudge holder either. I would be the one going, no, not talking to you, I'm going to my room, I'm going to have some KFC delivered through the window.
Lisa's not, but I just think that she should be thinking, and she should have...
No, what do you mean? So because she knows, split up...
She knows that this is hurting Carla.
No, but Carla's split up with her now and said, that's it, I'm over and done with. So what's she supposed to do? Just be miserable?
Well, she can wallow for a bit, surely.
Yeah, but then
the bed's still warm.
Becky said, let's put the Christmas tree up because it'll cheer you up. What's she supposed to do? No.
Yes.
But she's also doing it for Betsy. I suppose they should have let Betsy help them.
Exactly. If I really love Christmas trees and I'm putting up the Christmas decorations and I came home from wherever Betsy was supposed to have been today and found that somebody already done it, I'd be right knocked
Tell
off.
you what, anytime you want to put the Christmas tree up without me, do it.
What? No, you...
No, I don't love putting it up.
I thought you did.
It. No, I hate it. It's boring.
I find it a bit boring.
Yeah, it's terrible. I like it when it's up,
yeah,
but I hate doing it. It's the most stressful, annoying thing in the world.
Well, the Swain, Carla, Connor household, we have a proper Christmas tree, don't we? We have a giant, if we can, the biggest Christmas tree that will fit in our lounge with many, many, many decorations, and it looks like
proper Christmas tree.
I don't know whether this was Lisa's Christmas tree or Carla's that they were putting up today, but fake as you like, pencil thin Christmas tree.
Michael,
that probably took the best part of 10 minutes to get up. It probably came with the decorations still hanging from it.
Best thing I ever saw on the internet was a family who had a trapdoor in their hallway, and they opened the trapdoor and they had a pulley, and from the basement they pulled a ready decorated Christmas tree out.
Was that Sally Carmen's house?
No, but I bet she's probably writing that down if she hears this.
Christmas tree trapdoor.
And then when Christmas is over, you just open the trapdoor again and lower it back down.
And then if you're feeling a bit Christmassy partway through the year, just like, whoop, pop it up, back down again. Oh, got a Christmas tingle.
Let's just leave the house for a day to let the spiders escape. Anyway.
So what happened on Coronation Street this week, 52 minutes into the podcast?
So, Betsy is upset on Monday because Becky has had a funeral wreath delivered that says, rest in peace, again. And
nice campy start to the week.
Hats off to the florist who was like, no questions asked ever.
Yeah, did that come from Tracy?
Do you think it was? Do you think
a sale?
Do you think it is like, hello, no questions asked, florist?
Yeah.
We'll send dead rats to anyone you want. As long as it's got a rose attached, it's our business.
I mean, do you think that florists ever get requests for comedy wreaths or prank arrangements? Is that usual, just for laughs?
I bet they get more weird, stalky men.
I wonder. Or do they say, no, we'll only do things for real ceremonies?
I don't
know. Depends where's that? Yeah,
it's a cost of living crisis,
Michael. Isn't it? Well, exactly.
You can especially if you charge by the letter, Rest in peace again. Well, that's an extra
That's
£5.
Yeah.
Right, so Becky's like, I don't know where it came from. We're all watching this going, you sent it to yourself, you lying bitch.
Yeah.
Aren't we? She's like, I don't know where it came from. Betsy's like, oh, we can't sit here and do nothing. And she goes, right, I'm going to go and investigate. And meanwhile, Kit is being interviewed. He's going to have an interview with Costello to get a promotion, isn't he?
I'd forgotten that he was...
Who cares about
this?
this?
Going through that.
He's going to be a DS. I don't know what that means.
No, that's what Swain is. It's the next one up. It's the second.
Who cares?
Second from bottom. But
I want to die never knowing any of this.
No, it's fine. That's important.
It's not important.
It would put him as Lisa's equal, and I think narratively, no. That's why he calls her Gov.
I don't listen to any of their speeches about police stuff.
No, because Kit's always wanted Swain's job, and I think that this could be, a step towards that. I don't think you can just fill a police station with sergeants, let anyone who wants a crack at it just go for the promotion. So does somebody have to be pushed out to get another sergeant or what? I just think that they're having those two on level pegging might be, quite juicy.
It wouldn't be for me because I thought they already were.
No.
So that's past me.
But we've got to have some DC in the show. No, we don't have to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We don't need to have any police officers in the show.
I don't know what a DC is.
Constable. That's
What's
the
an
bottom
S?
Sergeant.
Why
Sergeant. We had a new
These
police
words
officer in the show.
don't mean anything. These words don't mean anything.
I can't believe you watched the bill.
There's nothing
for all
inherent about the word constable or sergeant that makes them sound like one is better than the other.
You just got to learn it. We had a new...
There should be admirals and captains.
We had a new PC on the show this week, didn't we?
Yeah.
A new Craig. What do we call him?
Fake.
Fake Craig.
Fake Craig.
It's like, we need to have somebody just pop their head around the door and tell Kit somebody, but we're running out.
Kit Coulson.
Oh, he's dead.
We got rid of him.
What's Officer Jess doing though?
I know.
That line was probably written for her, and they just asked the T-boy at ITV to jump in there.
Yeah, that's how it works. How rude to fake.
Fake.
Right, so...
Fake in.
Right.
Fake out.
That only makes sense if you know Dean Fagan.
What? No, it doesn't. I was talking about Oliver.
Oliver what?
Oliver Twist.
Fagin.
Yes. I think that's a bit more of a famous Fagin.
I don't know.
Anyway, look, what
Constables, sergeants. Right, so Becky and Costello have gone completely rogue, haven't they? They're meeting in the Ginnel, so there's not even a roof on this thing. The back of everyone's houses, and it's not even dark. And he tells her... Well, basically, she accuses him of sending him the wreath, and he denies it, but it seems obvious that it's him.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, well, I'm going to sort you out.
Yeah.
Yeah? And then Becky goes to the precinct, and she sees Costello's daughter playing in the park, and she takes some photos, and she probably puts it onto social media with hashtag fun, happy times, hashtag enjoying the evening. And Costello's like, damn, that's what I would have said. I'm jealous. So Carla comes home and she is upset because somebody sent the wreath. We never get to see this wreath. I didn't know it got sent to their house. I thought it got sent to Becky's house.
Yeah, I got a little bit confused about what went there, but I can't remember where Becky's living at the moment.
Where did we get to see? They couldn't, obviously the budget didn't stretch to rest in peace
we just
again.
Weren't looking, quite possibly.
No, I think we would have seen it.
I don't know, but anyway, Carla's a bit narked that.
I don't like that
her house is a target.
Whoever it is knows where we live,
yeah.
And this isn't on. And Lisa doesn't want to row about it, so Carla huffs off. And then Costello's so funny. He gets sent this picture of his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And then he zooms in he's like, I don't know who that is.
Is that Specky Four Eyes? Zoom. Oh my gosh, it's my daughter.
It's my daughter. We're both wearing glasses at the moment, so
I'm sure they had that with there was a CCTV footage on
Corrie
about a month or so ago.
For dramatic effect, but it's like, why are you blind or something? Costello's like, let me just zoom in. Yeah, that's that one. That's that kid I remember who lives in my house.
What's her name again?
I don't know. Minnie Costello. Right, so he's like, oh my gosh. But before we can do anything about it, Kit comes in for his interview for promotion. And...
Elfish Costello.
What?
Sorry, I was trying to give her a name.
Elfish?
Elfish, because she's small like an elf.
No.
Elfish Costello.
Oh, like Elvis Costello.
Yes.
I get you now. It's still bad.
So, okay, I'll shut up.
So, because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna let you get on with promotion. And Kit's like, right, great.
Yeah, that was like the easiest interview ever.
So he was like, all the boring job interview questions, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? How did you tackle a problem at work that was your fault? Would you be interested in more responsibility at your job?
Yeah. 5 years' time, definitely still in the top 10 Coronation Street appearances, the way things are going at the moment. What about you, Gov? Oh, yeah, 100% regular.
Yeah, definitely.
Even fake, he's going to be a regular given 3 years.
Yeah, why not? So Becky phones Costello up and he says, oh, your daughter's a nice-looking kid. Wouldn't it be a shame if something happened to her? Kit is listening in and to this, and he... on the phone, he's like, she says, I know it was you that sent the wreath. And he says, you know what I'm capable of. You're playing a dangerous game. And she says, come after my family again and you'll regret it. The call ends and Kit had heard Costello basically threatening Becky on the phone.
Yeah, but I don't think he knew who...
He doesn't know who she's talking to.
Well, he gets into a bit of a strop, doesn't he? He pushes some files off the desk as well. So Kit knows he's riled.
Yeah, he's a roughy-tufty, riled up man, isn't he?
He is.
So Betsy is telling Carla that they all need to go to Spain to escape. And Carla's like, Becky can't protect you out there on your own. It's not safe. I promise you that Costello's onto it. It's all going to be all right. And so she gives her a hug. This was very sweet. They're doing a lot with Carla and Betsy to...
They really are.
Make us see this
the mother-daughter
relationship.
Lots of touchy-feely stuff.
Lots of hugs and stuff.
I tell you what, the old Carla of old would say. Sort yourself out on your own.
Stop crying on me. You're messing up my makeup.
Yeah.
Lisa comes home and says, right, the Becky thing's out of my hands. I can't do anything about it. Then the doorbell rings.
Who could it be?
And Becky's there. And I was like, it's not Becky because she's ringing the doorbell.
She didn't just barge in.
So she comes in crying.
She's all over the place.
Yeah, she's forgot that she can just teleport through doors. She's in floods of tears because she's scared about being killed by this wreath. And Betsy gives her a hug, and Carla's just watching this like, oh my God. How frustrating to watch everybody be manipulated so transparently right in front of your face. And you can't do anything about it either.
No. Well, she does eventually. She nopes out of it on Wednesday. Yeah.
So Carla's struggling, and she tells Lisa, later on, that she feels like she's losing her. And Lisa's like, no, never. And then Betsy comes down with Becky and says, guess what? Mum's moving in for a bit because she's so scared. And it's like they've just come down from their sleepover and they're asking for chocolate milk or something. Because they're both like, Mummy, can we? And Lisa's like, no, we need to talk about this. And Becky says, no. Well, she says, Becky's staying and that's it. This is what Betsy says. If you don't like it, then I'm going to move into Becky's flat with her. And Carla's like, look.
She just kind of, she's just given up. She knows where this is going.
I'm not having any more arguments or discussions or manipulation. Like, I can't beat this. I can't win.
Yeah, if she feels like she's already losing Lisa, then this is just the natural stage. She's run out of fight, hasn't she, Carla, by this stage?
So she says, look, Becky can stay until she's ready to go to Spain. And then Becky's like, yay, I'll buy you a takeaway. What do you like? Do you want Chinese? And she just looks like so she's just so... Yeah, just like this kid that's been offered money or something. Lisa and Carla can't even look at each other. And Becky's like pretending to order the takeaway, but she's secretly texting somebody saying, I got a job for you. It's going to be fun. Plenty of pound.
So,
money.
Who was she
Pound
texting?
money.
Who was she texting?
Yes, who was she texting?
Well, thank you to... I can't remember who it was on Twitter. But we did find this out earlier this week because of a tweet. But the number that she was texting there was the number that was made an appearance in the show back in August when Kit was writing it down on a Post-it note. Now, do you remember this, listeners? So there was a scene, it was mid-August, when Lisa is seeing Kit talking to somebody called Mike on the phone, and he's going, oh, thanks, Mike, brilliant, you saved my bacon, or something along those lines. And he's scribbling down a phone number on a Post-it note, and he claims that this is a personal call. And then Lisa goes up to him, goes up to his desk after he's gone, and she does the old rub over the Post-it note that's now on top because he's taken away the note he was writing on, and the number appears in the imprint and the name Costello. Later on in the episode, Lisa says to Costello, have you got a new phone? And he's like, no, I wish. So she was like, well, why is there this unknown number with Costello's name next to it? Was it a burner phone? And then it's kind of been forgotten about a little bit, hasn't it? Or they did this long enough so that most viewers, not the most eagle-eyed viewers, like whoever this was on Twitter, again, thank you very much, would forget about it. And I totally had. I didn't even think, who could this possibly be? Does this not? No, I wanted who it was. I wanted who it was, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't look at the number and go, "Ooh, I wonder if that number is anybody that we know." Or so. Thank you to the person that found it. But yeah, so this is still possibly this mystery, string puller that's been teased for all this time, because there is somebody else, isn't there? Look, they've talked about mutual acquaintances. When Logan got beaten up in prison that one time, it was somebody finding out something. Like, is it someone who was a prison guard, maybe?
It's weird.
Somebody with fingers in pies.
So Kit was on the phone to this person, and he writes down the number, and then he writes Costello next to it. But it can't be Costello because, number one, they're not Costello and Becky don't have that kind of relationship where she texts him
not
like
anymore.
That.
Not since
number
the
two,
whole Wreath incident.
He doesn't care about. He's obviously doesn't need money, and he wouldn't ever lower himself to do this.
No.
So why did he write Costello next to the number?
I don't know.
Because it's not Costello's burner phone, is it? It can't be.
Unless somebody has got hold of it since.
No, I don't know.
It doesn't really
Unless
make sense.
all the gangsters only have one phone.
Maybe they're all just called Costello. Maybe it's Costello's brother is evil. Is even evil a twin? I'm
going to be kind of annoyed if it turns out that it was just a mistake, because they've done that.
No, it won't be. It can't be. I think this. No, I believe that this was put in there as if you caught it, you caught it, and we did not catch it, but somebody else did.
Corey's got a lot of work to do restore its reputation with me for not messing up.
With regard to this storyline. Yeah, why would it be Costello? It wouldn't have been Costello that she would say, I've got a job for you, because we saw that they're not seeing eye to eye thanks to their Ginnell scene.
What was Kit investigating?
It wasn't really clear what the conversation was about. It felt
so maybe it's just some kind of bent copper or informant or... Anyway, so Kit had written this number down with the name Costello previously, and now Becky is telling them she's got a job for them and it'll be lots of money. And we still haven't had...
Kit knows who this person is, but Kit was trying to find this number out. Mm. But he must have done something with it.
Kit doesn't... Then. Yeah, maybe. But Kit didn't know who this person was and didn't have their number already. So
I'm not getting the impression from Kit at the moment that he's anywhere near the bad guy in this.
No.
He seems like he might be the one to take Costello down, or at least play a part in it.
Do you remember when Lauren and Betsy were going to investigate?
Oh yeah, just for one episode.
That went nowhere, didn't it?
Yeah. So I don't know. I wish I had a good theory here, but I've literally got no clue. But there's clearly this other person that's been the Mr. Big for months now, or in the background. And I hope that we find out who they are soon.
The way that Becky texted this person, it's somebody she knows who isn't intimately involved or cares about the outcome of this situation, because they would need to be paid.
Yeah.
Number two, it's somebody that is delights in mischief.
I mean, is it somebody
and number three, obviously a criminal of some sort.
Is it somebody that was also in Curtis's gang that Becky got close to and is still in contact with?
Do you think she's still in maybe she was never actually out of the gang? Maybe she's trying to wheedle her way back in. Maybe there's a power vacuum, and she could now be the new boss of the crime gang.
That sounds good. I like that theory.
I like that theory as well.
Maybe.
Well, she's getting money from somewhere.
She's getting money from somewhere.
She's buying takeaways. She's paying people to do whatever this thing is that we still haven't seen.
Maybe she's the new Sharon Gaskell.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I can see her running around with a, what's it called?
But anyway,
a taser.
This job that she's talking about, is this presumably what then happens to Costello later in the week.
Oh, yeah. We don't know. We haven't seen anything happen on screen, but yeah, Costello got mugged.
No, because, you know...
Yes, all right, you're right. I think that's correct. I was saying we haven't seen what it was because I thought it was going to be vandalism of some sort on the house.
I mean, it could still be something else, but I'm just having to kind of join the dots that are the off-screen dots. So
maybe when Kit wrote down the number and then the word Costello, he was having a psychic vision that this number would beat Costello up.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, so this is Wednesday, Costello being in... we haven't seen him in hospital yet. But when we went to Coronation Street behind the scenes studios, Gemma, you did get a little glimpse of this, didn't you?
I did.
A little spoiler.
I think we had to go through the footage that we put on YouTube just to make sure, and I did try to make sure it wasn't, but one of the hospital beds in the hospital set did have Costello.
No, it said Jerome, didn't it?
I can't remember now.
I thought it said Jerome, and that's how we knew it was him. And I think that when we put out the trailer for that Access All Areas, I had the scene of that. But I think it was too small for anyone to see, but then we didn't use it in the actual...
Yeah, we had to clip some
video,
bits.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So we were wondering all this time why Costello was in hospital.
And, we do keep secrets.
I'm still wondering a bit.
When we have to.
We do.
On Wednesday...
Like we've had Summer's robot sitting in our house for 2 weeks. We've not told anyone.
We don't say up front that this is a spoiler-free podcast, but... it is a spoiler-free podcast, and I know lots of Swarla fans are getting very stressed about the spoilers because interpretation can make mountains out of molehills.
Well, as soon as they're landing.
Well, it's because the journalists have to make them sound more exciting than they actually are. To get clicks and get people to read and intriguing. You're not going to be like somebody opens a door, are you? You've got to say something salacious, and so. If you're a Swarla fan and you're finding it stressful, you just listen to our podcast because we just try to guess what happens. We've got no idea. And if we do actually know, we're never going to tell you. So, on Wednesday, Carla has arranged a chat with Lisa. They're going to have a nice romantic lunch at the Chariot Square Hotel, and they're going to get a room, and they're going to, recommit to one another and talk through their problems. And Becky's listening to this, and they don't know that she's heard that they've got these plans. But she's listening on the stairs again, like a naughty child, like Tracy.
I was seeing, David there.
Yeah.
Because it's the same sort of stairs as the Platt's house has, and he would sit there.
He's a cheeky little imp as well.
Same short, spiky brown hair at the top of the stairs, having a bit of a seethe while Gail and Sarah Louise were talking about what a bad lad he is.
Yeah. Right, so Lisa finds Becky as she's getting ready. She's got a nice little jacket on that she wears for a nice date night. She finds Becky staggering around, hugging the hedge outside the house, and Lisa's not sympathetic at all, and because she also has seen that Becky has stolen this wine from Carla. It's got Carla's Good Merlot, apparently. And
There's been a lot of wine stealing on Coronation Street lately, hasn't there? Ken's good wine that Cassie necked the other week. Was
Drinking
it
good, get expensive.
Yeah.
Cassie bought it for Ken because she had drunk it, and then Tracy drank that.
That's it.
So, Lisa drags her inside and tries to shove her to one side, but Becky's collapsing. And she falls. She falls in the doorway as Lisa's trying to leave, and Becky's just like, "Oh, I've drank 2 bottles of wine, etc., etc." Feeling very sorry for herself.
I mean, I don't think it was ever explicitly stated, but I didn't know whether she was actually really drunk or she was pretending to be drunk as well. She probably had a little bit to get some on her breath.
I don't think she drank as much as she said because she sobered up so fast.
Yeah, you're right.
That would send you out you would be out of it all day, and then when you woke up you'd feel like death.
As one who does not partake in the demon drink himself, I can't say what that would be like. But
whenever I have 2 bottles of wine at lunchtime, it's always a right pain in the bum to try and get the dinner on. So
I'm just trying to think there's a film or no, carry on. I'm trying to think of a reference when there's a character who acts drunk and then they're very sober very quickly.
That's never happened in fiction before. Meanwhile, Lisa is trying to leave a message for Carla as Carla is getting fed up waiting for Lisa. She gets the bill off Debbie and she huffs off. And Becky's there in the house moping that Lisa and Carla hate her, and she's drinking to forget that once she had a life and a wife and everything else. And Lisa's trying to make her coffee. And then Becky holds her hand and apologises. And then Lisa goes off to make the drink, and she's She just looks very sneaky.
This is like what I was saying earlier.
Becky does.
It's like the Christmas tree. Why do this, Lisa?
Because, look, okay, I know what you're saying.
Carla is waiting for you, and you know that you're you're dangling here.
Can I just say that Lisa is a police officer, and she has seen very many paralytic women in her time, I'm sure, completely drunk out of their heads. And she probably knows you have to give some kind of attention, like medical attention, to somebody who is that so drunk they can't stand up. Because the last thing she wants to do is to have Becky drown in her vomit and Betsy come home and find her. All she's doing is administering first aid to somebody. And I know it sounds stupid because she is just drunk, but she can't just leave her like she was.
Well, maybe she doesn't want to have another Brody on her hands. Do you remember when she was there ignoring him in the cells and he had his seizure?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it wasn't like the best plan, but I think also everyone forgets that Becky knows what buttons to push for Lisa. She knows what her weaknesses are and what is going to trigger Lisa to do stuff. Do you know? Yeah,
I just think that she could have tried harder to get in touch with Carla. Like,
she
phone
didn't
the hotel.
She didn't do that at all.
But did she also... She tried to phone Carla, I think, but couldn't get through, if I remember rightly, right. But I remember. But did she not want Carla to know because she knew that would make it worse? Well... But if she knew that it was that bad...
Let me tell you.
Don't do it. Get somebody else to come round. Get your neighbour.
Michael, this is her dead wife.
Yeah,
they keep pretending it's her sister.
Knock on Sally's door and say...
No, she can't take the risk that Becky will say something that she shouldn't say when she's drunk.
Send a text to Carla.
Whether or not you think this is bad judgment, you can still make arguments as to why this happened. It's not like it's completely illogical what she's done here. It's just like a black poor judgment, and the whole show relies on poor judgment from start to finish. Otherwise, nothing interesting would ever happen.
I've sympathised for the couple at the end of the week, but I think that, Friday night, Lisa really, really should be taking a long, hard look at the decisions that she made this week and going, yeah, maybe I would have done things differently. Before
she moons over her wife doing decorating a Christmas tree, she plays a game with them all right as Carla walks home, because Betsy comes home. Lisa's like, great, I'm glad you're here. I've got to go because I'm supposed to be meeting Carla. Becky comes downstairs wearing somebody's dressing gown.
I can't remember who they said it was. Probably Carla's.
And Betsy says, can we please get some food, a cheeky food time delivery? And then they start all throwing the phone around, and this is what Carla walks in on, this domestic scene.
Was this the scene when I was watching it? I was like, and Carla enters in 3, 2, 1, and there she was.
Yeah, she's not happy at all.
We've watched a soap opera before.
Yeah. She's supposed to be having lunch, and there she is, having larks with somebody wearing a dress.
And this is a bit of a flashback probably for Carla, for that video clip she saw with them prancing around in the
every
fashion
time
parade.
I leave this house, you all just get together and start having fun.
Yeah.
She's not having any fun.
Otherwise, as I say, I sympathise with Lisa, but in some ways I can look at what she's doing and say, yeah, I get what she's doing it. But 100% I can see why Carla is feeling the way she is.
I know, but you can't live your life... If you're Lisa going, I can never smile in case Carla sees me. That's basically your argument.
No.
Like, it's just coincidence. It's because it's a soap that she got caught both times she smiled at Becky.
She shouldn't give...
She smiled at her twice this week, and both times...
She shouldn't put herself in a position...
She can never smile.
Of course you can, but don't put yourself in a position where you're playing... past the phone and let's decorate the Christmas tree and all. Yeah, exactly.
Becky's the takeaway queen. I think she's probably got a really good gold membership.
She needs to show a bit more self-restraint. She really, really does. Oh,
here we go. Right, so she's not happy about this, and Betsy leaves, and Carla interrogates Becky, who admits that she's drunk, and she says, "Oh, what a remarkable recovery you've made." And then she also says, I'm sick and tired of hearing you going, oh, what about when we did this? And what about when we did that? And it reminds me of this and it reminds me of that. I'm sick and tired of it. I want you to leave. And then Lisa doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I know.
She's like, I want you to leave. And Lisa doesn't go, yeah, get out, Becky.
That was her chance. She just stands there. However many other stupid things she's done and poor decisions that she's made and regrets that she might have for what she's done in this week, this was the moment where she could have said, I think the right thing to do here is back up my fiancé.
I think Lisa should have gone, you should go to Spain.
Yeah.
So anyway, when Lisa doesn't say anything, Carla says, thanks for clarifying that, and she kind of walks out. So
You pellet, Lisa.
After the break, Becky is telling Lisa that Carla was well out of order, but she'll come back, don't worry about it. And Lisa's really upset, and she's like, can you just put your clothes on and make yourself scarce,
Do
please?
get dressed.
Yeah, do get dressed. So Becky gets dressed and wanders around and meets... No, she's in Seb's garden and Kit sees her and he comes up to her and says, where's Costello? He's disappeared. And she goes, oh, I don't know why would that happen? And then he then gets a call from somebody saying that Costello has been mugged.
Da, da, da.
Awkward coincidence.
For lots of pound signs.
Pound. So do you think that the payment was the mugging, or do you think that Becky gave them more money as well?
Yeah, that I think.
So Carla finally comes home. It's quite late. Becky's not there. She needs a drink. She gets this this bottle of water. No, sorry, it wasn't water. It was wine. And she pours herself this giant
for Carla.
glass of wine. And
you've got to prepare yourself for a scene that's going to last a good 15 minutes, haven't you? You've got to have a bit of fuel in the tank.
This is the beginning of the massive Swarla scene, and this took the whole last quarter of the episode, which is it's not unprecedented. It's becoming more precedented. It's becoming more of a used thing.
It's still pretty rare.
It's still very, very rare.
I mean, even back in was it in the 60s? There was a half an episode to a quarter of an hour of Len and Elsie together that one time. Do you remember that one on the DVDs?
Yeah.
That was very, very
having a whole
scene.
Episode is very rare.
Well, yeah, they do it on EastEnders more, don't they? But...
I think it will start happening more once we have the half-hour episodes. But I do think it should be kept very rare, and it's impactful when something like this happens.
Yeah, the last big scene that I remember this was Tyrone and Fizz.
Yeah.
When he admitted that he had feelings for Alina, and that was a very raw and powerful and an open scene between the two of them that kind of laid bare many facts about their relationship. And this is
not the scene that you get if you're having a happy relationship. This is a scene that only happens when there's some kind of conflict, because soaps thrive on conflict. That's what drives the narrative. So you have to have conflict if you want the big scenes, which is what this was.
We went into Wednesday's episode with you having been spoiled that there was a big scene.
Yeah.
Weren't you? But I had no idea, and I was sitting watching it going, okay, when's the scene gonna... I don't want it to end, I'm enjoying this, but it's like, oh, okay, they're doing this, are they? This was Joe Parkinson's episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really well written.
Nice,
I thought some great scenarios. I think it was, again, I'm gonna say, this is a really big ask of almost everybody, because it feels to me like there's a really obvious solution to this problem, that is Becky goes to Spain. And everybody has to dance around it because the story has to continue with Becky being in the show. But Joe Parkinson and Ali King and Vicky Myers sold this. They convinced me that these people were having a complete conflict.
Yeah. Where
they couldn't. It was impossible to solve this. They couldn't. They loved each other, but they had this massive issue that was insurmountable. I don't think it is. That's what I'm saying. I think these two would have been able to solve this if the story didn't require them not to be able to. But with the remit that they were given, everybody did a fantastic job of this.
Yeah, you're right. We all agree that it's a bit of a silly situation and a bit of a silly story, and whether that bothers you or not is down to personal preference. But the two great actresses and the fantastic writer there definitely did a good job of selling it.
Really did, yeah.
You could say, and I think somebody did say in one of the scripts, it might have even been Wednesday's, that if Becky goes to Spain, who's to say that Curtis's men aren't going to follow her out there and she's not going to have anyone to rely on there.
So what, she's had 4 years in Spain and she hasn't made any support system there, she hasn't made any friends.
Well, she's probably, she's...
It's annoying, isn't
Kept walking into their house and they're saying, Just leave me alone.
She's like, I don't know what you're saying. I can't speak Spanish. I'm never going to learn it. Right, so Lisa's trying to make Carla a sandwich, and she's like, because she wants to put everything off, and she's trying to tell her that she tried to, I tried to phone you about the hotel and stuff, but I couldn't get through. And Carla says, you made me feel like I wasn't important. And Lisa says, there's nothing more important than us. You are my priority. But Carla doesn't believe this.
Talks cheap, Lisa.
Yeah, and Lisa says that meeting Carla has changed me and Betsy, and now we're a family. And Carla says, well, I feel like more like a spectator. And Lisa says, well, I wouldn't be spending all this effort on somebody, on Becky, if it wasn't for Betsy. I'm engaged to you. We're going to get married. And Carla says, yeah, but you're still married to Becky though, aren't you? And when the first time that we probably talked, that Betsy didn't want to leave the old house, what would you have done if Becky came back then? And then Lisa says, oh, well, I would have done anything to get her back. Mm. Like, I would have done anything, but things have changed because I've fallen in love with you. You're not a consolation prize. You're not a runner-up. Becky will be gone in a few weeks, I promise you. And Carla's like,
it's
no.
It's so hard because I do believe that Lisa's fallen in love with Carla, but like we've said before, if somebody who you were in love with, that it doesn't stop you from loving them.
It's a really complicated scenario that they've built here. I think that the scenario is good. It's just the story that that's hanging around it is kind of a bit strange. So Carla's like, look, Becky wants to get back with you. And I don't believe that these people are coming after her. I think it's all a big lie. She got Betsy to say that she wants to go to Spain with her, and now all she wants is you. And Lisa says, look, Becky knows I'm not going with her. And Carla says, well, she kissed you. That didn't stop her then, did it? So and I don't think it's a coincidence that she got drunk today either.
Is Lisa just being willfully naive here? Like, why can't she see?
Well, that's what Carla says. How can you not see what she's doing? We were supposed to spend the day together, and coincidentally, she gets drunk, and you have to look after her. I was so patient with you when you worked through your grief, and then up comes Becky like some spiky head spectre at the feast, and Lisa says, "No, I promise you, we're gonna get past this." And then Carla says, "You know, it hurt so much when Peter left, and it was my idea, and I even paid for his ticket." And him staying here wasn't what was making me happy. And Lisa's saying, I don't know what to do for the best then. If Becky leaves, then Betsy's going to grieve all over again. I cannot watch her go through that.
I get it. I do get it.
And then Carla says, well, you've chosen...
She can still zoom her.
Betsy or Becky over me, picks up her keys and says, I'm going to stay at the hotel. And Lisa's like begging her to stay. And Carla says, look, I love you, but you love the life you had before more. And she strokes Lisa's hair, and I think this is one of the most revealing lines of the whole thing, where she says, the reason that you're finding this hard is because you want Becky to stay as much as Betsy does. And Lisa's saying, no, I don't. I promise. I'll tell Becky, you know, she's got to leave us alone, and then why don't we go to the hotel together and we can talk? And then Becky and Betsy come in, see this scene, and Lisa's begging and crying, telling Carla not to go. Carla is just completely calm, and she just walks out. And then Betsy runs over to Lisa, Holt cradles in her arms, and Becky's just looking kind of sheepish, but you can tell that she wishes she could do an evil smile. Carla has gone. Carla's left the building.
Yeah. So do you think that Lisa does prefer the old life? Is she... I wish I knew, because she says one thing and then does something else. Like I say, you can't stop loving someone, and I think it's fair enough if she chooses her daughter over Carla, if she really is concerned about her daughter's safety, and there would be, but I just can't.
I think one thing that's a bit weird is that nobody's decided to talk to Betsy about this. Like, if I was Lisa, I'd talk to Betsy about this and say... I mean, Betsy's nearly a grown woman.
Well, she is. She's 18, isn't she?
She needs to be... She acts like a child. She's treated like a child. And I think that she needs to kind of have a bit of a come to Jesus moment a little bit here about what's actually going on, because she can see how much this is hurting Lisa, She surely must have. She had that conflict with Becky when she first came back. Like, she was mad at her and stuff. When she tried to tell her what to do.
Doesn't she still think that everyone's going to go and live as a happy foursome over in Spain?
She thought they were going to go on holiday.
Yeah.
She just seems very, very naive. And if you think Lisa's naive, then Betsy's worse.
It runs in the family, clearly. It's an impossible situation for everybody.
Because it's all just silly, made up nonsense.
Because it's about somebody coming back from the dead, kind of.
It is really interesting, and it's kind of I think it's an interesting thought experiment to like imagine how would you react.
What would characters do? What would
you really do? But it does feel a bit like fan fiction, you know, because it's just so fantastic.
Yeah,
but
I still honestly, it doesn't particularly bother me. It's silly. I'm saying it's silly. But it doesn't bother me that it's silly because I kind of like the fan fictionness of it, and I know it's not classic. I just don't
like stories where everything hinges and relies upon some obvious thing just being ignored. Like, nobody's telling Becky to go. Nobody's asking these important questions. It feels like they're all asleep, like literally dreaming this is happening to them, and they can't wake up.
Well, at least there was plot progression this week. We can't deny that.
I mean, I'm enjoying this. I think this is interesting. This is interesting. Yeah, this. I mean, we can't complain because we were saying I want Becky to come back from the dead because of the chaos, and it is causing chaos.
That's great.
But it's just not as logical as I'd want it to be. Anyway, Friday, Lisa's trying to leave a message for Carla, but she can't get the right words in, and then Kit comes in and tells her, this is at the police station, that Costello is in an induced coma because he was attacked. And when he was attacked, he was on the phone to somebody just before it happened. Kit...
we couldn't figure out what they were talking about there, could we?
No,
like, was he on the phone to Kit, or how does Kit know that he was on the phone to somebody?
He wasn't on the phone to Kit because Kit was surprised to find out that
he was... you're right. So I don't really understand what's going on there. And I'm actually a little bit surprised that I suppose if he's in coma, he can't tell anyone, but it's odd that we had hospital scenes with Theo and Todd in today's episode, but we didn't have
at least Costello lying around.
That hospital scene, yeah.
Right.
Like people ran, it seemed perfect to have somebody like Lisa by his bed saying, Gov, just wake up, I need to know what's going on. Well, I don't know,
She don't care.
Maybe we'll have it on Monday. They just can't resist the trip to Weatherfield General.
Costello's in induced coma, blah, 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 blah. Kit thinks it was Becky, but Lisa's like, no, because it's not, you idiot. She's being a bit rude to him.
Yeah, she's like proper patronising to Kit, doesn't she? She's like, well, you're just a DC. You can't, I can't remember what she said. But
you're just a detective constable, which is lower than a detective sergeant.
Everybody knows
which is
that.
What I am. I've got 3 little lines probably, and you've probably only got 2 or something. Or 1 crest, and I've got a unicorn and a lion, and you've only got a unicorn.
On my lapels.
Or whatever. Maybe you've only got the C, and I've got the C and the R. I don't know, because it's all made up. So, cut back to the Swarla. It's now the Swain house, because Swarla, Swarla's left the building.
Carla's left the building.
No, Swarla as a concept is gone.
Yeah.
Now it's Licky. So Becky is flapping around in the kitchen. Oh no, Curtis's gang, they've come after Costello and I'm next.
It must be, if it is all fake, which it probably is, it must be quite draining to be putting on an act like that all the time.
Well, that's why she is to keep fueling herself with takeaways.
Do you think she practices in the mirror?
I think she's been practicing her whole life. I don't think this is new behaviour for her, really. I'm kind of expecting there to be at least one scene where Lisa works out that something that Becky had told her years ago was a lie. You know how... Okay, here you go. You know how Becky keeps going, oh, remember when we went to Istanbul? Oh, do you remember when we went to Ibiza? Oh, do you remember when we went to Rio Grande?
Legoland Windsor.
Yeah. I think it's going to turn out that she just took her to a car park somewhere and said that that's where that was, and Lisa believed her. Istanbul looks so much like Tesco car park. It's very strange.
Then it will all start to unravel for her.
And she'll realise that she's been lied to all along. So Lisa grabs her hands and says, look, calm down. And as she's saying that, of course, Carla walks in to see this happening. So she just goes back out again. And Ryan is there and he tells Lisa that she is not making this very easy for Carla because it's obvious what's going on. She should be a bit more understanding.
Yeah, Ryan's a bit of he's not an independent third party or anything, but he's not in the thick of it half as much as everyone else is. And as an outsider looking in, he can see that Lisa is not really being the cleverest.
Bad decisions.
Yeah.
Also, if I'm Ryan, I'm moving out because this is apparently where all the criminals are going to come.
Yeah.
So Lisa's like, again, being a condescending cow and going, I don't need a lecture off you, Ryan. Don't tell me how to treat my dead wife or my new fiancé. Eva decides to be part of this story because she hears that Carla's having a bit of a meltdown and she asks her if she's okay.
We didn't really get any Driscoll action this week,
That's
did we?
right, no, we
I don't
didn't.
think Maggie appeared at all, or Megan. A little bit of a breather from them this week.
And this is also a rare scene for Eva not being with the Driscolls, because I think the only other time she's been in a scene without the Driscolls was when she was talking to Leanne and Toya.
Yeah. Well, it's nice for her to break away, because like we said, we've not seen really enough of Eva since she's come back.
But she's not doing much here. She's just asking Carla,
didn't do much.
is she all right? And Carla says, look, it was a shock that I fell for Lisa in the first place, but people always hurt you in the end.
I was watching this and going, what's the relationship between Eva and Carla again? I can't really remember. Are they friends? Are they family? Are they not really like each other? Do they love each other? I know that Carla sold her the pub, so they must be
Carla is... So Aidan was Carla's brother, and Aidan and Eva were going out, and so Aidan and Eva's child, Susie, is Carla's niece.
Something like that.
Niece. And so there is a family connection.
Okay.
So
of course I knew that. I was just checking. I was just letting you clarify for the
It's really
listeners.
Convoluted. Everyone is...
You don't remember the intricacies of the Connor family tree.
Nearly everyone on that street, I think, is Susie's uncle or aunt.
Yeah. Tell you what, Christmas is coming up.
I know. She's like, I hope if I get £5 off all these suckers, I'm going to be in.
We've got 3 stockings on our mantelpiece as well, and they're all mine.
Right, so Sally tries to interject by telling Carla what a power couple Lisa and Carla are, but she just snaps at her.
I love how I love how Sally is still just being a massive toady here.
I know. Well, when Lisa comes to the factory to look for Carla, Sally consoles her about the split, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't gossip about it. I'll put it on the thread. Did I do that?" This
is a new Corrie chat group. How many WhatsApp groups does one street need? I suppose most streets have got more, but how is there just one person behind the scenes at Coronation Street whose job it is to come up with funny names for?
I bet they already have
Street chat groups.
Some,
but I like this one, the thread.
The thread, yes. So Carla and Lisa go back to the house together when Carla turns up and sees that Lisa's at the factory. And Lisa's a bit defensive when Carla brings up her looking after Becky and then apologises, says, "Look, I'm gonna try harder." And Carla says that I just feel angry, I feel stressed, I feel sidelined. And Lisa's kind of like trying to protest. But Carla says, I think we should just not be together anymore. One less person for you to manage.
I kind of had the impression on Wednesday that they'd split up.
I wonder if they just put this in because obviously not everyone watches every episode.
I don't know. They don't usually do things like that.
No, I know they don't usually.
Maybe, was it just a way of...
She's like, in case anyone was wondering, yes, I've broken up with Lisa.
Was it a way of spelling it out for any viewers who might be in denial about
or like
it?
Hanging on to some threads of like...
Yeah. She
hope.
didn't say exactly that we're split up, so...
We are broken up.
Yeah. For now.
She leaves and Lisa says, I love you. Sad.
Too little, too late, Lisa.
Eva brings Carla and Ryan a drink because Carla's gone to the pub, obviously, with Ryan to commiserate. And she says, look, if you need to stay at my place, feel free. And she says, no, I'm a hotel girl, really. Ryan, can you please put a case together for me? And Ryan says, look, this is a bit, I know this is bonkers, but maybe you're being a bit hasty. Maybe you just need space. I'm going to keep my eye on Becky and Lisa. Yeah,
so Ryan is going to be the spy on the inside, isn't he? And it's funny because he hasn't had loads to do in this story recently. He's been very much on the sidelines, but I wonder whether this is going to be, is he going to discover something? Is he going to overhear Becky talking on the phone? Is he going to be skulking around in the background and the one to save the day, or at least push somebody in a certain direction?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Ryan being in there
I would hope so, because he feels a bit pointless at the moment.
How awkward, though, to be living in the house with your sort of aunt's ex fiance and her dead wife that you don't really know.
Just a day in the life of Coronation Street character.
Yeah. So Lisa's sobbing on the sofa later, but Becky is there fawning over her, going, "Oh, you're the strongest woman I know. You'll find a way forward. I knew you'd be fine." And Lisa tries to change the conversation. So Becky says, "Look, let's put the tree up for Betsy, because she always loves that." And she puts her hand on Lisa's leg. And she said, "Oh, we'll have a lovely time putting the tree up."
So Lisa is allowing Becky to...
Because at this point she's lost Carla. She's lost Carla anyway. So what's the point?
No, she's still saying that she loves Carla.
She's too defeated to see that there's, like, if you were thinking clearly and logically, at this point you would kick Becky out to prove to Carla that you listened to what she said and you're serious about being back together with her, and then you tell her, "I've kicked her out and she's never coming back." But
I suppose I just could go back to the fact that if this was real, if I was in Lisa's situation, I'd probably let you put your hand on my leg as well.
Am I evil Becky?
There's no way. Yeah, I feel like I've been very, very harsh on Lisa, but I totally do.
A lot of people are being quite harsh on her. I think
she's making some really silly decisions, but I can completely put myself in her shoes and say I would still be holding a bit of a torch, probably.
Yeah,
more than that. I don't know.
I think probably the trouble about this is that being a widow or a widower is a really horrible experience that most people our age don't know anything about, or younger, you know. We've almost all experienced the death of a loved one who's a family member or you know, maybe a friend or something, but not very many people have had a boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, wife, lover, husband, whatever, die. And so it's a grief that I think a lot of people are kind of projecting their memories of, like, splitting up with somebody or having a breakup onto this, and maybe other people are projecting memories of, like, a family member or maybe a nan or granddad dying or something. It's not the same at all, because you have a relationship that has ended without you wanting to end it, and it's one of the most intense relationships you'll ever have.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people have had that experience, but just not usually at a younger age. Like, everyone who's in a relationship, one of them will die first.
What are you saying? I don't understand what you're saying.
Well, you're saying that it's rare for people to experience the death of a...
Our age or younger?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying...
That's what I said
that's
originally.
what I'm agreeing. I'm just clarifying it.
You know, at a certain point, when you're both old, one of you is going to die.
Yeah. But we're saying people of our age, or slightly older, like Lisa.
That's what I said. But people are watching this, are talking about it, are not really, a lot of them talking about, my experience as a widower or a widow.
No.
And it's so unique because it's a relationship like nothing else.
Yeah.
And so we don't know what it would be like. Nobody knows. I'm sorry, nobody knows what it's like to have your dead wife come back. How many people have had this?
Not many, I'm going to say.
Somebody wrote in?
Did somebody write in and say that they'd heard about it happening, or was it in the news or something? I don't remember.
I don't recall reading that, but I don't think anyone listening has ever had their wife or husband come back from the dead.
Sorry if this has happened to you.
No, I'm not sorry that it's...
It's definitely quite a rare occurrence.
If this has happened to you, I want to know more about it. Please write in.
Yeah, how realistic is this story?
What would you do? What did you do?
Were you more of a Carla or a Lisa in this situation? Were you a Becky or a Lisa, or just a bit of a Betsy?
Were you a Betsy about it or not? Mm-hmm. So later on, they decide to put the tree up, and Lisa's a bit chilled out, and she's got this, like, Chris Moose, yeah. Chris Moose. They were.
She was generally having a nice time, wasn't she? And it's like she had been able to put the Carla stuff to the back of her mind for a while, because she was in such a sorry state earlier. And this is proof that Becky does know. One of the things that Becky says is, you need somebody who knows what you need.
Yeah.
And this was proof that she did know that.
She knows exactly how to play Lisa like a fiddle. And, I mean, the biggest issue that happened here was that basically they're having fun. Carla comes out of the pub with Ryan, and she wants to... Ryan's convincing her to go and talk to Lisa, And so it's for the best, but when they get to the house, they see through the windows because...
Love it. Love that shot.
Because why wouldn't they leave the blinds open in the dark? To watch...
They're just having so much fun doing the Christmas tree, and before you know it, the sunset. You know, it's like this time of year.
It's like a Hallmark movie because Carla's standing outside...
A very progressive Hallmark movie.
Watching her family, like watching her fiancé putting up the tree with her dead wife. That does sound like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, it does. But I do. I just again want to shout out to the director here who did that shot. We never get to see inside people's windows, or very, very, very rarely. There was one a few years ago, wasn't there, where we got to see inside the Webster's kitchen through the back window, because obviously in real life the set isn't there. So we know we've been there. So that was superimposed through the window. With CG, plus they had the reflections on top. I just thought it was really well done, and it didn't look in the slightest bit fake, and it made me think, I wish they'd do that more often.
Yeah,
which
that must have been a lot of work.
Yeah,
that looked like a very simple shot, but that would have taken so much work to put together, because you either would have had to construct the exterior and put it inside the studio, or you would have had to have superimposed.
Yeah, it was 100% CG, so they would have had to have just got the angle just right. It's just really, really cleverly done, and it's one of these things that I don't know, some people watching it probably wouldn't have even given a second thought to or noticed, but we did. Well done, director.
Well, you should find out what the director was.
I did. I looked earlier, and I have since forgotten. Sorry.
Michael.
Go on, continue. We're nearly there.
Well, yeah, I'm saying the only reason why this was bad, because Lisa did need calming down, and she did need somebody to sort of look after her, and yeah, it was the wrong person, but it would have been fine if only Carla had not seen them doing this.
Well, maybe you don't know. Maybe this moment with Becky might have made Lisa realise that she wishes that it was Carla there. That's not what it looked like to Carla, though, because she just sees... Well, yeah, she sees them, and it's almost like they're flaunting it, isn't it? It's dark, the lights are on inside, it's all pretty much saying, hey, anybody who walks past,
hey,
look
Curtis's
at us.
gang.
Yeah, hey, Curtis's gang, exactly.
Do you think they're standing in the bushes going, oh, leave it, mate, look how much fun they're having. Oh, I love Christmas, mate. I'm going to go and put my tree up.
I think they're saying, I don't think we've come to the right place. That can't possibly be Becky, because she wouldn't be so dense as to
no, he's like, this is a trap. She set up a bomb or something as soon as we go in the door. Right, so like you said, Carla's reflection looks like a ghost between them, which I thought was a very good direction.
It was literally, she's haunting that relationship, isn't she? Neil Alderton was the director of today's episode. Very good. And Debbie Oates
wrote this,
the writer. Yeah, it's good writers this week. Yep.
So Ryan gets Carla's bag packed later, and she obviously Carla bows out of this, so Ryan has to go and do the bag. Lisa tells him to let Carla know that she still wants to keep talking, and Ryan's like, well, you can say the words, mate, but... And he nods at the tree, and then he leaves.
Good for Ryan.
I don't know whether he's said to her, we watched you doing this, or whether she got it from what he said, or whether she's never going to realise how big of a mistake she just made. But anyway.
Yeah, if you were Ryan, would you tell her that?
I'd come in and go, what the hell are you doing? We were just watching you from outside. That's what I would say.
Is he?
I don't know if he cares that much. I think maybe if I'm Ryan, I'm thinking, I think maybe Lisa's not the right woman for Carla, and I'm not going to try to fix this by helping her out.
Yeah.
Although I do need a landlord, so maybe I should think again. So she nods at the tree, leaves, and then Lisa starts crying to Becky, go, this has all got so extreme. And if that's not meta commentary on this storyline in general, I don't know what is. Becky tells her you just need someone who knows what you need to look after, and she tries to kiss her, and Lisa pulls away again. I'm in love with Carla, and Becky says, I'm so sorry, I just hate seeing you hurting.
What if Lisa had kissed back for a second?
Meltdown.
Because the way things were going, it wouldn't have surprised me. Would it have you? If she'd have Just for a little kiss, and then pulled away when she realised. Just to go that little bit further, because it felt like this kiss was even less of a thing than the one a few weeks ago on Halloween.
Well, Lisa's not having it. She says, I'm in love with Carla, and if there's any way I'm getting her back, I'm doing it. And she goes upstairs, and Becky's left looking miffed, because that should have been a slam dunk, shouldn't it? You know, the romantic tree, Christmas, Ryan's gone, Carla's gone.
Well, but Becky knows
She's
now.
She's probably ordered a takeaway.
Becky knows now that, you know, that she may have been 2 steps forward, but now she's 5 steps back with this. She thought she was getting
far.
there.
She
took the risk.
She's on a clock. I bet you she's going to try to get to Spain before Costello wakes up.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who she spoke to about this and whether they were recognised by Costello and he could link them back to Becky.
But she isn't seeming particularly worried or any more of a...
But who would she tell that to?
Yeah, I guess so.
How would you know?
Yeah.
Costello was the only one who knew her plans.
Yeah. But I would have thought that she might have mentioned today, you know, I suppose we better get off to Spain then.
So when do you want to go to Spain?
Didn't really. Should we put up the Christmas tree now, because we'll just have to take it down next week when we go to Spain?
When we go to Spain, we're going to have to unplug it in case it catches fire when we're not here.
Yeah,
right, so there we go. That was that.
That was that. So it was quite a week.
I did like Becky calling Carla Bellatrix Lestrange.
Yeah, see, I kind of did, but I don't particularly get she was always Morticia, wasn't she, Carla? That's what the factory girls called her.
And we know that everyone knows who Morticia is because of Wednesday.
Yeah. I don't see as much of a resemblance with Bellatrix Lestrange, but I like how it gives, you know, it ties into what Becky is, the picture she's trying to paint of Carla as being particularly cruel and unhinged.
Yeah.
And
maniacal.
Yeah, and can snap at any moment.
I just imagine that Becky spent 4 years in Spain reading the Harry Potter books.
Well, I think Becky knows that she's really the Bellatrix Lestrange in this, isn't she? Lisa needs to say, "Not my fiancé, you bitch," and then puff her with her wand. Sorry, spoilers for Deathly Hallows there. Anyway, so...
What do you think Becky's Chinese order is? Better something rank.
Sweet and sour chicken balls. Gemma and I hate that.
I really hate it. It's disgusting. Gloopy, horrible, nasty. Yeah. And chips. And curry. Yeah.
Well, we have chips when we have a Chinese, don't we?
I know, but you wouldn't admit to that, would you, on a podcast?
Done it. It's too late. Right, I suppose we better talk about old Theo and Todd, hadn't we? And what they've been up to this week, which has been an awful lot more drama. I think Friday's episode was... I just feel bad. It makes me feel like a ghoul. But Friday's episode was great because it just got really dark and intense. And then you get lots of other people I've seen posting online saying this story needs to stop. It's, you know, it's too triggering to me. It's too dark. I can't watch it. Which means in some ways they're doing a good job.
Yep.
But for me, I'm watching it and going... And I love Todd. I think he's one of the best. But I mean it's what's keeping me gripped and on the edge of my seat, and I feel I have to give this disclaimer every week. But I didn't know this was happening today with the Mirror, and it's still not quite like I said in the short that we did for today. It's still not quite Yasmin eating Charlotte Bronte territory. I'm going to say it's nowhere near that at the moment. But
I don't know how you... I really don't. I think...
It's different, isn't it? Because...
It's...
Jeff was never violent towards Yasmin. Am I right in saying that?
No, I don't think
it was all psychological.
Violent. No.
But making her eat her own pet chicken, that's the ultimate cruelty. And...
Oh, sadistic.
Yeah. And it is now turned violent here. Plus, there was the whole cold dinner thing at the end of it. So I'm glad that they're not hitting the exact same beats. But I'm still, like I say every week with this, still very much into this storyline, and glad that finally it's got to a stage where I'm willing another scene in this storyline to come up, quite frankly. Every time that a scene arrives with Todd and Theo in it, I'm like, oh, what's they going to say now? Theo is just so fascinating, just how he flip-flops from being this charming hello cocker guy to being like he was at the end of today's episode, just being cruel. So he makes me want to watch just to see what he's like.
Yeah, I'm just keep thinking about the fact that it's two men, and what you were saying about the violence, and I'm just wondering whether Coronation Street feels like the violence. Is there going to be more violence in this because it feels more triggering to watch a woman be attacked by a man than it does two men. And I don't want anyone to think that I condone any of this, because I know people like to twist things, but it does feel as though they're pushing it more physically, and I don't think it's coincidental that it's two men.
Well, even the exercise that he's making him go through is kind of a form of physical torture.
And I'm not saying that it's better, or I'm not saying that you should never do, like, it's violence against anybody is wrong and nobody should do it. But what I'm saying is that it feels like you might get less complaints. You might be able to push the envelope a bit more because people are sort of wired to react to violence against women in a different way to the way we react to violence against men.
Yeah, if this exact same scenario with the mirror had played out with a woman, I think it probably would have been even more shocking and even more abhorrent. It would have felt it.
And of course it's wrong no matter who, but I'm thinking about also, like, I don't know if we're forgetting whether Jeff had done anything physically violent, but I'm also thinking back to Charlie Stubbs, and I think the most violent thing he did to Shelley was rip those earrings out, and that was awful.
Yes, you're right, because when I spoke to Bill earlier this year, he said that they wanted to make it not that kind of relationship. It wasn't about violence, it was just about control.
And all I'm saying is I think there is a taboo about showing physical violence like that on a soap between a woman, a man doing it to a woman, because we saw like Kirsty beat Tyrone with the vacuum, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. But then we also saw that even just earlier this year, we knew that Mick had been physically violent to Lou.
But we didn't see it.
No, we heard it though through the doors.
That's what I'm saying. I think that there will be more physical violence in this relationship.
I think you're right about the complaints, and you would get more if it was a man hitting a woman.
I think the audience is also more used to watching violence between men on a soap, like men fighting each other, men drawing blood. When women have a fight on a soap, there's slapping and throwing beer.
Bit of hair pulling.
You very rarely see, like, unless it's like she's getting murdered or something. You don't really see women with blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, but I mean equally, Tracy and Abby last week had a bit of a duff in the Rovers, didn't they? But I don't think there was.
It's not the same thing, so. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, totally.
I'm just warning people that I think that I'm not saying that they've done it for this reason, but I am just saying that there's something about, and maybe this is part of the reason that the story is so important, because it feels a bit like it's easy to be jaded about violence between men.
Well,
but equally, I've never seen anything like this on television. I've never seen an abusive relationship like depicted like this between with a gay couple.
Yeah. I'm thinking, again, we've kind of skipped to the end of it. Sorry, that's my fault. But what is we going to have happen to Todd now? Is he stuck in that flat now? Has Theo got him where he wants him? Because there's he's not going to want people knowing about the scar.
Let's go for it.
Okay, let's go for it first. So anyway, this running torture is still going on. How can he keep
him locked up if he's making him run outside?
Well, maybe he can't now, or maybe he. Well, look, yeah. So
exactly.
We'll get there. So anyway, Theo's just finding it hilarious how knackered out and pooped Todd is after his runs, and he's still pushing him to weaken him down and lower his defences, as partly, I suppose.
James Cartwright is really good at giving this dark delight. Whenever he does something and he's laughing at Todd, he's got this really evil, impish grin that he does, and it's so unsettling and weird.
Yeah. Because
it doesn't feel like a nice, normal, happy...
No, it's got an evil glint, hasn't it?
My danger radar goes off every time he does that. I think he's really good. His performance is really good.
Yeah. Well, it's also because it's backed up with... A lot of the time when he's got that kind of impish grin, as you said, any normal person would be, I'm really sorry for what happened before, let's talk about it.
It unsettles us because it's incongruous, isn't it? It's like the actions he's doing and his facial expressions are completely at odds with each other.
Yeah.
And it's like a horror movie. That's why, like in horror movies...
It's like a grinning...
Yeah, like a maniac.
It's like the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, or just that smiling man.
From the
Reddit thread.
From the
Reddit thread, exactly. That's what he's like.
Yeah.
He's really, really good. As I say, we took it a while to get there for us for this character, but it's been worth the wait. Anyway, Todd is going to get some frozen peas from the shop later, and maybe hopefully he still had some of those around for Friday after his little accident. And he sees Billy and Summer there, and Billy says, well, I heard you lost your job. But then before Todd can really open up about it, Theo comes skipping into the shop and kind of puts an end to that, and he's also kind of chirpy, and it's, again, very unsettling. Pete comes into the equation later on in the week. And it was last week, wasn't it, that Todd was being all charming to Pete?
Yeah, making him dinner.
Yeah.
Mushroom risotto.
And you can tell that Theo... He was really mad about it at the time, wasn't he? But he still doesn't have any qualms whatsoever about working with Pete. And I know he wants the job.
It's like he's picking a scab. It's like he wants to... Well, we know this. He wants to create problems so that Todd will do something, in inverted commas, wrong, and he can punish him. So he knows if he hangs around Pete, that it will cause an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Anyway, so I don't think Pete didn't appear on Monday, but he was on the phone to Theo offering him a job. But Theo doesn't tell Todd about this and said it was just the dentist. Todd's telling Theo that he loves him, but then Theo starts insinuating that there's something going on between him and Billy again, because he saw them talking together in the shop that time earlier that episode where Billy was trying to ask Todd about what's going on with his job, and Theo saying, well, your face lit up when you're talking to him, and Todd's saying, no, I promise there's nothing going on. And again, he's got just a tiny little bit of fight left in him, but he very quickly backs down and says, look, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. And Theo's response to that is, let's go for a run. Let's just wear you down a little bit longer.
I think it's quite telling about what Theo was thinking on the phone when he was talking to Pete and then lied to Todd about it, because then he immediately starts accusing Todd of cheating on him with Billy. It's obviously what he was thinking about doing with Pete.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think that if the Institute was hiring...
Oh my gosh.
I think that Theo would be, he'd be up there, wouldn't he? He'd be climbing those ranks. Yeah. Just wear them down. That's the whole point. That's how they get you in.
Theo is kind of... I think he's wasted on scaffolding. I think he'd be good in finance.
Yeah, I reckon. You're right. So, Wednesday... Theo's trying to tell Todd, you should probably have a bit of a less morbid job, so he's making fun of that. He even admits that he's been telling everybody that Todd's in sales because it's a bit more acceptable.
Also, Todd would be excellent in sales, telesales.
Yes, he would. He even gets a little dig in about what happened with Pete last week before he goes off to work there. So we had some of Sarah, who's been on the fringes of this story a little bit, coming around with a cauliflower provençal later on that episode.
Can I just do a quick aside here, because I've said this on on Twitter, but I want to know what the listeners
think.
think.
Yeah, I saw that.
Do you think that they're talking about and showing food more on Coronation Street, and why? Why is that? I love this. I love talking about food. I like to know what people are eating. It's one of my favourite things. Tell me what you had for dinner. Show me a picture of it. Thanksgiving was this week in America. Hope you all had a lovely day. What did you eat? There's normally a thread on Facebook, but nobody posted.
Oh yeah, there's usually a conversation.
And I want to see Canadian plates as well. So, but yeah,
I've not noticed this.
Well, I noticed this because what else was there? We had this cauliflower provençal. We had the risotto, the mushroom risotto. We had Ollie's tasting menu, and they put all that food out. We had today the vegetable katsu curry, didn't we?
Yeah, well, this I suppose we're seeing it a little bit more in the Thod storyline, because this is one way that Theo is controlling him by controlling his diet and shaming him for, wanting to eat, having the audacity to eat something that's not 100% healthy.
Oh, also Asha making that confit celeriac with orange and dill.
Oh yeah.
And who was it? Cassie making the hairy biker's braised steak the other day.
I suppose now you come to mention it, you might be.
This is the most they've really spoken about actual food that isn't just a silly I'm making mash,
fish fingers and chips and hoops for the girls.
Very, very bog standard kind of like working class mumsy food that you make for kids. That's all you ever really got spoken about.
Yeah.
But now they're talking about food a lot more, and they're. The props department, I think, have to prepare this food and stuff, don't they?
Maybe they got
it must be a right hassle. Maybe somebody's news there, and they're like, "Let's do food. I want to put food."
Well, they have at the Coronation Street Experience just changed their coffee people, haven't they? So
coffee machine.
They've got a coffee machine, but there's a new company that's supplying it. So they're all doing. So maybe it's all part and parcel with that.
I don't think so.
I don't think
cauliflower provençal sounds like a fart in a box.
It does a bit. Well, Theo was saying
disgusting.
Theo earlier was saying how much it stinks, isn't he? Because Theo's job this episode is to try and kind of ingratiate himself. Well, he doesn't really need that, but just to go and have fun with Sarah to make Todd feel bad. But then behind closed doors, he's saying how much Sarah stinks, and you don't want you to have anything to do with her, and her food stinks and all that. Anyway,
and she says that it's the only way she can get Harry to eat cauliflower. Really?
Yeah, he's got very
that sounds like the
posh
worst
tastes. Does Harry?
That sounds like the worst possible dish if you don't like cauliflower.
Yeah, how's it
just
cauliflower provençal,
really
Harry?
rank.
Oh, mummy.
Look at it. I've just googled it. It looks disgusting. It just looks foul.
Anyway, Sarah's involvement on Wednesday's episode is she spots Theo getting a bit touchy-feely with Pete in the street when he brings him that empty coffee cup. So she strops up to their van and starts saying, "What are you doing? You shouldn't be in the street off with him." And then Theo says, "Look, we just signed a new contract, actually." And she starts having a go at them because of what she saw. And like, "You're going out with Todd, how dare you do this behind his back?" And Todd has to come and drag her off. So they go back to the flat, and Todd's saying, "Look, I wish you hadn't done that." And this is because he knows what's going to come next. Theo's going to take some kind of revenge, and as he always does, when you think something's going to happen with Theo, first thing we see is him walking in all cheery, putting on this front, and this is, I guess, for Sarah's benefit, isn't it? Saying, "Oh, it's fine. Pete found it funny, actually. It's no big deal." You just know that as soon as he's there with Todd alone, he's like, "How dare she do that?" But he asks Sarah out for a drink and tells Todd, "Well, obviously you're not coming, are you? I thought you were applying for jobs."
For a job.
"Yeah, stay at home, mister. Thank you very much." And Todd, you're just seeing lots of him sagging and face falling this week, aren't he? He's got no fight left in him. So Theo and Sarah are having a quite nice time in the pub later, and Sarah's saying, "Oh, when you first got together, I wasn't too sure about you, actually, but I'm really happy for the two of you now." I think that Sarah wouldn't have been, because she knows that something's going a bit dodgy here, doesn't she? The fact that I didn't think that she was falling for Theo's act quite as much as she appears to be here.
No,
but she's a bit dense, isn't she? So
she is very, very beautiful.
Anyway, so Theo gets back home after this, and Todd's still on the laptop looking for jobs. Theo starts saying, "So how long have you known Sarah then? Does she stir the pot with everyone, or it was just you?" And he reveals that she'd told him that Sarah disapproved of them together at first. He calls her toxic. Their food stinks. He's like, well, you need to get rid of her, but obviously it's up to you, you know. So he knows that he's got Todd already in a position where he doesn't even need to demand that he does these things.
Well, Todd
now.
knows if
he gives them the illusion of choice.
Yeah.
But actually, there's no choice at all for Todd. Like I said, if he knows he doesn't do it, then he's going to get some kind of punishment. Yeah, exactly. So Friday, this is when it proper kicks off yet again, and Theo's in a good mood with Todd first thing in the morning. Because Todd's there trying to prove himself to Theo by picking between, what was it?
Well, he's got all eggs or maybe some muesli or something.
Yeah, or some fruit, and Theo's saying, "Oh, well done, I'm proud of you."
But he still goes, cycle. None of these things though, you idiot.
Yeah, have a banana. Have a banana. While later on they go to partake in each other's bananas in the bedroom, and everything's looking quite hunky-dory for them. Theo's making his veggie katsu curry, but then James rocks up with, what is it? Some DOMS evasion, did you say?
Yeah, DOMS.
What is it again?
Delayed onset muscle soreness.
Right, so basically it gives him the opportunity to do a little bit of physio on Todd after his run, and just like with Pete last week, Theo's there in the background, just totally unable to cope with anyone else getting their hands on his Todd.
Yeah.
Todd seeming to enjoy it.
Or like Todd paying attention to someone who's not him even.
And someone else, yeah.
Yeah, someone paying attention to him.
Yeah. And
being left out.
And like we've said before, Theo is some of it he knows what he's doing is cruel, and he knows that he's manipulating him, but when he's there feeling left out, that's an upset that is genuine. I think but he's not putting it on like he's not like Becky, crocodile tearing it.
You can feel things that are real, but they're not justified.
Yeah, exactly. So Theo, James goes off, and Theo, absolutely fuming. He's immediately starts accusing Todd of flirting with James. Did he turn you on? No, of course not. He was just helping us out with our program. Poor Todd, he doesn't know whether he's coming or going. At first he's saying, I don't want to do this marathon, I can't do it, I hate running. Now he's saying, well, I'm going to do something to try and make it better. And it's like nothing he can do is right here.
No, that's the point.
Yeah, and Theo kind of takes everything that he does and is able to twist it to make him like, that was the wrong decision again, Todd. How dare you do that?
This is so well written.
Yeah, I agree. It's very clever.
Theo feels like a real abuser.
Yeah.
He really feels like somebody who, completely well observed as the manipulator and the abuser in this situation.
Yeah. And
it's just really sad how predictable and obvious this behaviour is, isn't it? Then there are thousands and millions of people like this across the world doing this right now.
It's predictable that something like it will happen, but it's not predictable as in to say, well, obviously this is going to happen next episode, because it is keeping me on my toes.
Yeah.
It feels like a couple of weeks have gone past since something big, because they're building up to something.
What do I mean? The behaviour is...
Well, it's a cycle, isn't it?
Well, it's like a scorpion stinging. It's like that you could predict that. You knew that was going to happen because that's what Scorpion does. Yeah,
he praises Todd when he's done good things.
It's just so well...
When he said, he belittles him. Todd does something,
it's like he's
and then he gets punished for it.
How can I get the upper hand here? How can I punish Todd? How has Todd wronged me here? Todd is always wronging me. Let me think of what it is now.
But sometimes he doesn't need to think, because he's very, very fragile, and he's got, his ego is very easily bruised.
He's insecure and vulnerable because of his background with conversion therapy and everything. It doesn't mean that's not an excuse. A reason and an excuse are two different things.
I wish that we'd seen more, and I'm not saying we've seen the end of it, but I wish we'd seen more of this past relationship that he had, from the Canal Street scene, which was there.
Well, I don't want to see any more.
It proved to the viewer that this isn't the first time that Theo's done this. It feels like the story... It feels like they're just going to pop up again at some point. maybe have a conversation with Todd and rescue him or something.
Anyway, you paused this right at the vital
this is the mirror scene, isn't it? So earlier in the episode, we see them move the mirror from the bedroom into the lounge because there was obviously no bedroom set, and they wanted to have a mirror scene. It's like, well, let's just find an excuse to put it in the lounge. Oh, I don't know, it's so that we can look at each other.
No, it was again Theo manipulating Todd by saying we need to look at ourselves to make sure we're on track.
Yeah, I know, but it still doesn't make sense, because why can't they look at each other in the bedroom? Surely they seem to spend half their time in the bedroom, don't they, those two?
I'm surprised they put it where they did, but I think that was the only place they could have put it, because I would imagine somebody like Theo would make Todd watch himself eat.
Yes. Yeah, I guess so.
I'll put this here, Piggy, so you can see what I see when you're eating your food, because it's disgusting. You need to watch yourself, and then maybe you wouldn't eat so much, and you can see what it's doing to you.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he uses this mirror as part of his manipulations at this point, doesn't he?
Well, he can't use it now.
Flips Todd around and is saying, like, what do you see when you look at yourself? Is it someone who's just trying to get fit, or are you flirting? Yeah, and Todd says, no, I'm honestly, I wasn't flirting with him, but Theo won't let him go, and he's just pushing him around and just shaking him, and then eventually he smashes his head into the mirror. And that was like, oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that to happen. I could tell that this was one of those scenes, but when he actually smashed his head onto the mirror there, that did kind of give me a bit of a start. And the all of the makeup that was done afterwards was really well done. They didn't hold back on the blood trickling down from his forehead, did they? And you get to see a moment. Okay, they had some silly sound effects, and the camera was a little bit different. But in the performances, Todd turning round and looking at Theo and going, "What on earth was that?" And I was like, "Is this going to be the moment?" No, of course it's not. Of course it's not. But he's still. You can see. He doesn't immediately kind of go along and say, "Gosh, sorry, that was my fault. I did that," because they knew that that's
got a long way to go, because Todd is not making excuses for Theo going, "Oh, it's an accident. No. Sorry." Like at the end stage of this,
he's still trying to say,
"What did you do that
you
for?"
did that.
Yeah. At the end stage of this, if this had happened, right when Todd's been broken down, he would have gone, "Sorry, it was my fault," and then Theo would have used that opportunity to act like he's the victim, and you're trying to make me look bad, or you slipped, and like I'm hurt myself now.
Well, he might have also done, if Todd had said, "This is my fault," I could imagine Theo going, "Yeah, it was, you silly idiot. You're okay, let's get you classy. You're such a clumsy."
I don't know. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And
but that's
almost praising him.
As soon as Todd apologises for being hurt by Theo, that's when we've reached the next stage of this. We're still in the initial stages, I think.
Yeah, but I think that when he does that, Theo will congratulate him for doing it in some way.
That's not the point of what I'm saying.
No, I know.
I know what you're saying.
Anyway, so I really was wondering at one point whether Theo was going to deny him hospital access, whether he was going to say, "Oh, you don't need it, you'll be fine." I mean, he tried to. He tries to by just telling him to hold the towel to his head, but it's clearly not enough.
I'm not having another scar on my face. You know what I had to go through last time to get rid of this.
I've already had one permanent scar on my face. It's gone now, but I don't want to know how I got rid of it. Anyway, they end up going to the hospital, don't they?
Well, Theo's trying to convince him. It was just, you bounced off me. You hit your head.
Yeah.
And Todd's like looking at him like, do you think what? Of course that's not what happened.
It takes a few seconds as well for Theo to kind of shock himself out, because you can see that he's gone, "Oh, whoops." Feet.
He's trying to feel Todd out.
He didn't mean that to happen. He didn't purposefully smash his head into the mirror.
I don't think so.
But there was a few seconds of, how can I turn this round?
Well, no, like what reaction's going to get what I need out of him?
Yeah.
Like, have I pushed this too far now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think he meant to back his head, but I don't think he thought it would break the mirror.
I don't know whether he did.
That's 7 years bad luck now, and who gets it? Is it Todd or Theo?
I don't think Theo's going to be in this programme in 7 years' time, I'll tell you that. But no, I don't think he meant to hit him. He was just...
No, I think he meant to hit him.
He was just being really rough. I don't.
I think he just didn't think it would break the mirror.
No, I don't think he did, because I think he looked shocked and a little bit like, whoops,
well, he's shocked because there's blood pouring down
I think
his
it was
face.
like, I pushed it a bit too far here.
We both agree that he didn't mean for this to happen.
Yeah, so anyway, they go to the hospital and Theo's...
Again, not to excuse it, I'm just saying.
No.
He surprised himself here.
Yeah. I loved, again, in a evil way, how gleeful Theo was being while they were sitting there in the waiting room, and the stark contrast between Todd, who's there with the napkin or whatever it is to his head, really kind of thinking, I'm in quite a lot of pain here, actually, I'm bleeding from my head, you did this to me, and Theo's there next to him going, oh, you clumsy oaf, what you like. It's just so cruel and heartless, isn't it? And I can totally have seen Jeff doing that exact same thing. Like, you silly old bent Yasmin, what do you do that for? And he was saying, oh yeah, but it was just a tug of war that went wrong. You must have bounced off me, yeah. And he even goes so far to say in the waiting room, and just imagine if I hadn't been there, if you'd have hurt yourself and you'd have knocked yourself out cold, it doesn't bear thinking about. I'm going to wrap you up in cotton wool now. So he's not only trying to persuade Todd that he did it himself, but giving him an opportunity to let Theo look after him and wrap him up and
he's going, look,
control over him.
I think you can't be left alone now.
Yeah, basically.
Because you smashed your head into a mirror.
Yeah, and Todd's listening to this thinking, no. But
I don't know what he's thinking at this point, because we don't know. We don't know what's going on in his head at all. And the next thing that happens is he gets called in. Theo goes to get a drink, and so he's on his own. And so he goes in with a nurse, and we're all waiting there thinking, is he going to tell the nurse what happened?
I'm not surprised that he didn't, though.
No.
It's definitely too early in the story for him to open up, but you could see that he was getting close, and the nurse was asking the right sort of questions. She'd seen signs. I was a little bit surprised when Theo came in and escorted Todd out. She seemed kind of happy enough for him to be doing it. She didn't give a kind of lingering look of concern. But maybe that's just because of what good...
Though, because you must get so many people come in and go, I fell on this, I fell on that, my partner, blah, blah, blah. They're not all being abused.
No, they're not. But the way that Todd was behaving with her...
No, I think that
was really giving the signs of, I've got something to say, but I can't say it.
I didn't think that she would have picked up on that.
But she did, because she asked him.
She did. No,
she says, is there anything else you want to tell me?
Yes, you have to ask that. They ask everybody.
I don't know, but
they have to ask everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, what?
And so he answered her questions to her satisfaction. Why is she going to be suspicious? And if she is suspicious, she's not going to let it drop. Okay. You would bloody hope not.
Yeah, I guess not. Anyway, so they go back home later.
Why would a nurse be like, I did suspect domestic violence, but well, it's too early in the story for that, really, so I just left it.
I don't know. Anyway, they go back home and Todd just wants to sit down, and Theo's saying, still trying to find excuses, isn't he? Saying he wants to sue Dev for leaving them with a dodgy cheap mirror in the flat, and Todd's like, I don't think we want to tell Dev about this. He's going to want to know exactly what happened. And this is when he switches around and saying, so what did happen, Todd? So he's, ever since this accident happened, he's been telling him his story, and now it's like, I'm testing you out. I've told you what happened.
Yeah, have you listened?
You tell me what happened. And he's like, you're trying to accuse me, Todd, of doing it. What happened? And Todd backs off and heads to bed. And then you get this horrible dinner time scene at the end where Theo serves in the food and it's cold. Ugh. And that reminded me of that famous EastEnders Christmas gravy scene, which I don't think I've seen, but I think it's a fairly well-known domestic abuse scene, isn't it? Where somebody gets gravy poured on them. I don't know.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, Theo is kind of pushing this cold food towards Todd and demanding he eats it. And you just know.
Well, Todd tucks into it, and then he goes, "Oh, this is cold."
Yeah. And then he takes another bite at the end because he's got it. But you just know that Monday's episode is going to start with Theo being all chirpy and saying, "Oh, I can't believe you ate that yesterday," or "How you doing? Should we go for a run today?" He is. Yeah, I don't think he's going to even want to reference it, and Todd's going to have to bring it up. But eventually, Todd's will stop bringing it up because.
There's no point.
Yeah, Yeah. And again, that's when he's where Theo wants him. But, like, equally...
Hang on. You missed out the whole evil villain speech that Theo gives. Like, well, yeah, sorry, it is cold, but this is what you get because you were flirting.
Oh, yes, sorry, I forgot.
And then you said I pushed you against the mirror when all I was trying to do was cook you dinner, and then I had to take you to the hospital. So why don't you just eat it and shut up? Eat it.
But yeah, I think it's gonna be a joke. He's gonna act like it was a joke on Monday.
I don't think you can do that every time. I think that's just going to get a bit stupid.
I don't know, but that's the cycle of abuse.
It isn't the cycle of abuse that you make out it was all a big joke.
I
think just Theo's personality.
I think that Theo is going to... It wouldn't surprise me if he, like, bought an exercise bike or a treadmill or something for the flat. So, yeah. So he can still train. I just think it's not in Theo's best interest whatsoever for Todd to... show off his new scar to everybody.
Well, no, because Todd's got a reason why he still hasn't really gotten it out of Todd what Todd thinks happened. I really want to know what Todd thinks happened.
Todd knows what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's being brainwashed by...
No. What I mean, yeah. Is Todd like going to bury that in his head and not think about it again? Or is he thinking... What is he thinking? That's what I really want to know.
I hope that Christina is in it this next week because
she will be the one that notices.
She and George were absent this week, weren't they? And it kind of needs a scene where she spots the scar. She says something to George, maybe. Maybe she tries to talk to Todd and doesn't get very far, but does the wheels start turning there, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, really, really great script. Fantastic performances all round. I'm loving watching this, and I'm sorry for the people. I really, really am sorry for the people who are finding it difficult because there's going to be a reason why that's triggering, and that's really sad if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I'm good story still, I think.
Should we talk about another really sad story?
Another one?
Yeah. Dementia. Poor Debbie she's back. She feels like a new woman. She's come back from holiday. Carl is staring at numbers on a spreadsheet. One of them's red, so serious times here at the hotel. Yeah.
Somebody needs to give him the passwords to the finances quick because he knows his stuff. He knows that red is bad on spreadsheet. Minus
means you don't have it. Plus is good. More numbers, the better. So Carl's like, well, Tracy's supposed to be coming for an event that's happening. And this really confused us.
Oh, yeah.
Because they didn't make it obvious that Tracy was bringing flowers for the event. I thought she was turning up to sell flowers at an event.
No.
But she was supposed to supply flowers for an event. And she hasn't turned up. And it looks like Debbie's forgotten to pay her. So she hasn't been paid. And so they tell Ronnie about this. And Carl says that I think that Debbie's becoming more forgetful and it's starting to affect the business. So Tracy turns up at the hotel like, look, I don't work for free. I need money. And if Debbie can't cope running a business, maybe she shouldn't be doing it. And Carl's like, please, we need these flowers. So she says, okay, I'll go and cobble something together, but you need to pay me, please. And when Carl tells Debbie that she did forget to pay her, and she gets really embarrassed, and she's so no, I'll make sure I double check and everything. So Ronnie checks in with Debbie, and she's really upset, and so he has to give her a hug, and she says, like, I'm really worried, am I getting worse? And he says, look, I think maybe you are, and it's because you're stressed because of all the working here. And she says, well, I'm not, cold day in hell before I put the curtains down on this place. This is my gig. I'm not going to give this up. So she gets chatting with Tracy in the pub later. And Tracy's like, I do sympathise with you and what's going on. But if it was me, I'd be milking it and getting everybody to do everything for me. So Debbie gathers the men around her, Ronnie, Carl and Ryan. And she says, I'm going to take the odd day off, here and there. I'm not going to work so hard. And do you think you can cope with that? And Ryan's like, yes. And Carl says, well, I think you got a bit too much on your plate. Why don't you let me do all the boring admin and accounts and all that stuff? And she seems to like this, but there's this conflict that begins between Ryan and Carl, where Ryan feels like he's being passed over and that Carl's muscling in when it really should be Ryan, who's worked there for, weeks now.
Yeah, Brian was trying to pull rank based on how long he'd been working there, but it's really not been that long, is it?
It's not long enough that I feel like I could be the manager.
No, I'm finding already, and we're only a few days into it, the Ryan and Carl feud fairly tedious. What do you think?
I don't really think I thought about
it. This whole story to me, like all of this week's developments were like, well, that was clearly going to happen at some point. It's been Carl's been trying to get his hands on those passwords to get Debbie's money for months now, and this part of the story just seems to have been going at a bit of a glacial pace, to be honest.
It's also one of these sadly inevitable aspects of a story that everyone sees coming 100 miles away, but it's not something anyone wants to see.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Debbie being taken advantage of by her brother. And her heartbroken.
I just need to see him being
kicked in the head by a German.
Smashed into a mirror or something now. I mean, I suppose he had a wrench around the head a few weeks ago. He's still got the scars for those.
I think they're just about gone, but I did enjoy seeing his little painting.
But no, I'm finding this not that exciting. It's good that it's a Debbie story because she's going to elevate it.
Yeah.
You know, out of the drudgery that it is. But yeah, Carl is just really unpleasant to watch, and still not in a Theo unpleasant way. I just not into it. But we also get Glenda as well as part of this, don't we, of course?
Speaking of clashing,
Dementia Choir.
On Wednesday, Glenda and Debbie are clashing in their leadership over this Dementia Choir. And they've had this rehearsal, and Debbie is like whispering really loudly that she wishes that she hadn't left Glenda in charge because she's picked the wrong songs. And Glenda's like, actually, I do know what I'm doing. They used to call me Bel Canto on the cruise ships. And she's like, no, this isn't cheesy rubbish.
Was that when Debbie said, are you sure you heard that right?
Yeah, that's right. So she gets really mad, and then Ronnie makes her go and apologise to Glenda in the pub. And Glenda doesn't hold a grudge. She accepts and offers her a drink. And Debbie says, look, the reason why I was getting upset about the choice of song is because I was thinking I want the choir to sing at my wedding. Then she realises that she's lost her purse, and she gets really upset and frustrated, and Ronnie has to calm her down, and Glenda lets drinks on the house.
Do you get the feeling that we're not going to see hide nor hair of this choir until the wedding?
Yeah, I think you're right.
I really wanted this to be that Webster Act story that I was telling you about. You know, that's the storyline title I came up with it for the summer, and it could have run for weeks as a C story, D story even. But it's nothing really, is it?
I just think it would be really delicate and difficult to have a dementia choir in a story that's supposed to be light-hearted aspects of dementia and not make them the joke. I think it would be...
Yeah.
I think it's doable, but I just think it's such a risk.
I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise if when this dementia choir finally do show their faces, it is a real-life dementia choir.
Yeah, and they're just perfect. They just sing
exactly
brilliantly. They're not gonna...
But they have been making light of dementia in a kind way.
It feels different when it's Debbie talking about herself.
Yeah.
Right, so on Friday, Carl and Ryan are bickering over who's most in charge. And then Debbie's like, oh no, there's an email here. I've forgotten all about it. I'm supposed to be doing a speech on Monday. And Carl's like, well, look, you're still stressed out. Look, give me your passwords and I'll make sure I'm on top of everything. And Ryan's like, no, I want the passwords. I'm the longest serving member of the team. And Debbie says, I'm not giving everyone my passwords. Carl can do the banking and Ryan can do the staff rotas. So they're still butting heads later on. And Debbie and Glenda are talking in the pub, and Debbie says, I don't want to look incompetent at this thing next week. But Glenda says, no, you won't.
Yes, there we go. That was not much happening in that story. Who do you want to catch Carl out in the end? Do you think it deserves to be Debbie as like a triumph to show that she's still got it?
She hasn't had any more of those absence seizures, has she?
No, she hasn't.
Since she stared upon Carl and Abby.
I don't think so. Do you want it to be Debbie, the one that... I think she deserves it, as she's the one that's being taken to the cleaners.
I kind of want Ronnie to find out and crack him in half.
Yeah. I mean, Ronnie does need something to do, doesn't he, bless him?
Snap him into pieces.
Get rid of him. Abby wasn't in it this week either, was she?
No, she's too busy decorating
absences here.
Her little nest.
The Fizz story this week. So she's stressed everybody. I think that's the the notes that we've taken away from pretty much every single Fizz appearance in the past couple of months. She's stressed out and she's working too hard for her family, and Tyrone's not doing anything, and she finds out, well, she pretends to find out, that is later on Monday's episode, that Scylla, her mum, has got to go to hospital for an appointment. Now, Scylla's got osteoporosis, so it's all kind of very serious stuff. And she lives in Wolverhampton, is it, I think?
The way Fizz was talking about it, I felt like Corrie was trying to redeem itself a little bit here, because she says she needs somebody to go to hospital, and somebody needs to be with her for 24 hours afterwards, and I won't go into it, but you don't want to know. So it felt to me like they were trying to go back on what a colonoscopy is, because you do need somebody with you for 24 hours afterwards, and you don't want to know about anything to do with it. So I kind of got the impression that this is why Tyrone did not pursue any questions. And maybe this is also why Chesney didn't want to know.
was having a camera at the bum.
This is why Chesney was like, I didn't...
Yeah, Chesney didn't even contact his mum to see. I mean, I think that... who's got a worse relationship?
How's your bum? All clean?
I think that was genuinely a little bit of a plot hole that Chesney probably should have checked that his mum was okay. But I can't remember how we left it, like which one of them has got the worst relationship.
But I think if you assume that what Fizz was skirting about is that it was a procedure that many people, everyone should have them after a certain age at regular intervals. And I think that we were supposed to get that impression. And I don't think I would phone my mum up and go, how's your bum? Well, maybe I do actually text her and say, are you all right? But
I don't know. Anyway, the long and short of it, you get, excuse me. Oh no, it was. We didn't get the reveal until Wednesday. Actually, did we?
What, of the bum?
No, Monday was all about Tyrone getting his physio done, and Cassie comes along to watch him, and she films him, and she's really proud of him, and he's making slow progress.
As soon as
lovely, heartwarming.
As soon as they were all going, oh, Tyrone, you're doing so well, and he's walking along, and she's taking photos and filming him, and then she sits down and sort of he has to walk towards her. As soon as she did that, I was like, he's going to fall over now. That always happens on a soap. Yeah. But he didn't.
He didn't. No. He's made of tough stuff, hasn't he? Anyway, we have a phone call between Fizz and Tyrone later, and she's pretending to be at Scylla's house, but actually she's at Chariot Square Hotel.
Yay!
She needs a break, which
she won it in a raffle.
Yeah, apparently, which Ches discovers when he meets her there on Wednesday, when he's there bringing pizza and chips to Debbie's Dimension Choir, I think it was, wasn't it? And he and Fizz have a sit down, and she opens up to him about how overwhelmed she is. And I do love a good Fizz and Chesney scene. They can go months and months and months without having any kind of contact, can't they? So this was lovely, and I think that Sam Aston and Jenny have been working together for long enough that they just know exactly how to do a really lovely little sibling scene together. So I did appreciate that. And anyway, when they go back to the house, Fizz tells Cassie's there, and she's like, shouldn't be here. Sorry. But Fizz has told her, after being counselled by wise Chesney, that maybe we should ask Cassie back to live in the house again. And Fizz is about to admit that she's been not so honest with them, and Chesney stops her and says, look, don't worry about it, it's fine.
Why was Fizz mad at Cassie?
Why was Fizz mad at Cassie?
I can't remember why.
Because when Tyrone fell out of his wheelchair, she was bouncing on Steve's, what?
Banana.
Yeah, exactly that.
Okay, I remember now.
Yeah. That was not much to go with there in terms of storylines. It was all just, it was all kind of set dressing to the two main ones this week, wasn't it? It was all about Swarla, then it was all about Todd and Theo, and everything else was just kind of filler. Asha came back this week.
She didn't. Asha, the character returned to the show.
To our screens, yeah. So and I wasn't that hot on this story before it started, and I can't say I was that much better today. Although I suppose the Jigsaw stuff was kind of cockle warming.
This is the thing about story. I've never known anyone who's been in this situation, so I don't know how realistic this is. Is this like, because can you really go and go in a hospital, and it feels like there's no money for anything. I'm glad if this does happen that it's still possible, But I feel like I'm taking this for gospel when I really don't know if this is the case at all.
She's been there for quite a while now, hasn't she? It's clearly,
it feels very
done a number on her.
Unfortunately, it feels all very mysterious to me because what is she doing in there? Like, what happens in there? We could find this out. We could learn.
Does she just chill with her feet up, or does she?
What happens? That can't be good. That if you're struggling with your mental health, just being given nothing to do.
Yeah, she's almost like she's in isolation.
Yeah.
Because we've not seen anyone else there.
Surely she must have therapy or group talks or... I literally have no idea what she's doing here or what it is.
Yeah,
do you? What is it even called?
It's a bit like a prison, it feels like. Because they're not filling it with other people. I don't know.
I feel like one of the reasons I like watching soaps is because I learn about experiences and lives and people's... things that people go through that I would never know unless I watch the show.
Yeah, this is not.
But this hasn't taught me.
It's not teaching me much about mental health. It's not teaching me much about
what. It's not their job to do that, but
I know it's not really teaching me much about what it's like to be a paramedic because we only had that half episode based on it. Basically,
it does feel like it's wrapping up now.
I think so. Yeah,
and it did feel a bit of a twee ending.
Or what with the jigsaw?
No, well, yeah, it was all very metaphorical on Friday, wasn't it?
They knew it. I mean, it was written into the script, wasn't it? Amy saying, "Oh, this."
Well, not even that.
This is a bit close to.
I'll get to it when
bit on the nose.
So, Bernie and Dev visiting with Asha, and she tells them that she's ready to come home, and Dev's like, "Hooray!" But she says, "I need a good support network." So
yeah, she's kind of implying that, or she's insinuating that her friends haven't been the best. But that's because she told them not to visit.
Well, Summer, Amy and Billy go to the cafe and Summer's got so much work on, she's really knackered. And Dev comes in and he's like, you know what? Asha wanted space, but she didn't want you to forget that she existed. You haven't called her, you haven't texted her, you haven't done anything. And Amy says, well, I didn't know what to do. And Dev says, well, Asha says she doesn't want to come home and it's all your fault. And so then he leaves and Roy comes round to his house.
Did you think that Dev was being completely out of order there? Because I did. I know that he's being protective of his daughter and he knows he's screwed up with her with the whole Naomi situation a few weeks ago. But yeah, being quite so, visceral and vile to those girls out of nowhere, I think he should have reined it in a bit, didn't you?
I think this was trying to tell, it was imparting wisdom to the viewer, but in a really clumsy way, of that it's really easy to stigmatise somebody who's got a mental health issue and be too scared to talk to them at all because you're scared of saying something wrong. But it just felt like it. We haven't seen Asha say anything about her friends not going around there. Maybe there was a comment before about it.
It's the pacing of the story hasn't been conducive to us remembering or caring much about it, sadly.
You haven't spoken to her the whole time she's been there. Okay. I take your word for that, but I didn't see that happen.
Yeah. And there might have been the odd line here and there, but I don't
know.
They've not. It's just not really worked.
This feels like a miss, this story.
Yeah.
So,
again, which is a massive shame because we love the Allahans.
Some people aren't finding it a miss. That's the thing. You can only say what your opinion is. Right.
I've taken a miss. I do really miss Ardy. I wish he was here. I wish he was part of this story. I wish.
It would have made
the Allahans
more sense.
are feeling like they're missing something. They're not complete without Ardy there.
Ardy saying what Dev said would have made more sense because Dev is a grown man telling off a bunch of kids for being rude to his daughter.
Yeah, you're right.
But if it came from Ardy, who's the peer, you girls, you were so thick with each other, but where are you now? She needs you. Nowhere.
Yeah.
It felt, you're right, I think it felt wrong because Dev was so much older than them. So, yeah, he gets a lecture off Roy later.
Good for him. That first time Roy's been in the number 7 set.
Yeah, maybe. He tells Dev, Asha's probably just overwhelmed, and he likens it to how Carla was when she was wherever she went. I still don't know what the terminology is. So on Friday, Dev's made a jigsaw of the lowest pixel.
Oh no!
The lowest resolution. It was awful.
It was a blown up picture, and we were looking at it saying, is that a picture of Nina, Summer, Asha and Amy, or is that a picture of Molly and Elle and Tanisha and Harriet that they've got from one of their Instagrams or something? And we were like, yeah, that will do, because it didn't feel like an official photo, but I might be wrong. It felt like something of the girls together.
And it also felt a bit like they went, has anyone got a picture? And they went, oh, let's put it on my Instagram. So they downloaded that quality photo.
Yeah.
But that's
just screenshotted the thumbnail and blew it
up. It wasn't great. Anyway, he's made this jigsaw for Asha with their faces on so they can go and visit her. But Summer's still...
her.
Summer is late for her bus, rushing around. She's got so much to do. She's promised she should try to make it later. And Dev is like, yes, this is metaphorical for my daughter. She will pick herself together and as like a jigsaw puzzle.
I did think it was quite sweet, actually. I bet that for some people that actually does do a good job.
I don't think I would
putting
mind
yourself
this
together. I don't mind it, actually.
I think it's a really lovely, but it felt a bit too much like an on the nose metaphor to me.
I don't think I would have noticed it too much if Amy hadn't been so heavy-handed and saying, "Oh, it's a metaphor, everybody." I quite liked it.
Anyway, so they all go to Dev, Nina, and Amy come to see Asha, and she seems really upset that Summer's not there. And I was like, "Does Asha fancy Summer?" Because the way she's reacting, it's like she was really bummed. Because Summer is just the worst one. If Summer didn't turn up, I wouldn't mind. Like he wants Summer to be there.
Yeah, I know
and you know what she'll do? She'll just turn up and faint. And what happens?
Yeah, she turns up and faints.
She walks in.
Yeah, that was her first summer fainting for a good 2 or 3 years, though, Gemma.
Yeah,
come on,
right.
she's allowed them, couple of decades. I don't mind that.
Asha is very pleased to see her.
By the way, if there's anybody,
before she faints,
I know there are some listeners that haven't been watching Coronation Street for too long. Summer's got diabetes and she used to faint all the time, and it became a bit of a joke.
It was a bit of a joke.
Yeah, quite nostalgic in many ways.
I know, I'd quite like to see it actually. I was like, reminds me of the good old days.
Yeah. You said about Nina maybe fancying Summer. It was interesting. I thought that they also said they had that line about Nina fancying the guy on reception when they came in. So they're still definitely saying, making the comment about Nina's sexuality. She's not full on one way or the other.
Are you trying to say she's bisexual? Maybe I don't know how she identifies.
I'm pretty sure she is a #NoLabels kind of girl, but yeah, sometimes they often will make characters plump for one side or the other, and especially if they've been in one particular relationship for a long time, and they're clearly not doing that with Nina.
I feel like they're doing that more and more with characters now. Just saying. Well, they don't have a fixed sexuality.
When it opens storyline
because it makes it easier for us to pair people up. Apart from
I'd just be thrilled for Nina if anybody, because she needs a storyline, she needs a relationship, she needs something.
Yeah.
So that it's not butter and rolls out around the back of Roy's.
So, Asha immediately goes into like paramedic mode, and she kind of helps her and comforts her and gets her.
Maybe I do have worth.
What's she get her in the end? An orange juice.
Yeah.
And Summer's a bit embarrassed, and then Asha goes, "There's no shame in being helped, right, Dad?" This is a metaphor
Speaking of
for
on
me.
The nose.
And then everyone goes, and Asha and Dev do the jigsaw, and she goes,
"I'm just going to put the piece of me inside the middle there. Now I am complete."
Yeah, there's my pixely face.
Is she going to be back home next week, and that's the end of this storyline? And it's a bit like the Rovers, isn't it? When the Rovers was going through financial crisis, and then it closed down, and then it was like terrible for a bit, and it was shut, and then it opened up, and it's been fine. When then you got Asha, who's like Asha is like
Asha's
the
had
Rovers.
A financial crisis.
Everything's going terribly. Then she shuts down metaphorically for a couple of weeks.
Some money out of
she's going to come back, and she's going to have no problem with being a paramedic again, because it seems like, yeah, you're right, when she was nursing Summer, that was reminding her that that's her love, that's her vocation, that's her dream. So I think she's going to go back to it, she's never going to meet anyone like Naomi again. Or maybe she meets someone like Naomi and she tells her to sod off, and then it's like, actually, not so bad, I can just do that.
Just tell people to sod off.
It would be a real shame if Asha were to
not be a
paramedic. I think that's a really lovely career choice for her, but it does also, mean, are we going to have more medical dramas if we got yet another member of the cast working for that particular profession? I don't know. Right, what else did we have this week? Kevin. Oh, we just got Kevin to finish off, really, haven't we? So he's got a pub in his lounge and a dartboard where Stan's serving hatch used to be. That's basically it. It was just him and the mates coming around having a bit of a fun time together, wasn't it?
You see, the trouble that we have here is that we're always going, we want more scenes, friends, we want more community.
I didn't mind this at all.
I know, but when they do it, we're like, well, nothing happened in that. We just gloss over it.
Well, I liked how really Kevin was nice and smiley.
This was a nice character scene, and again, a bit of men being friends, talking about their problems and stuff. It was quite nice to see that modelled on television. I agree. I don't think there's many shows that really do this. Show male friendships in a healthy way, although they probably should have been drinking kale smoothies.
I mean, I hope it stays...
And not throwing sharp implements around. But men will be men.
I hope it stays like this, and this isn't just another excuse for Kevin to, maybe be abandoned by his friends when they realise that their overs is better, and then he's on his own again. Or, there was a bit about him wanting to put money on the darts game. So is this going to turn into a gambling story?
Yes, of course it is.
I don't want that.
Maybe him and Tyrone can gamble together.
Oh yeah, he'd love a bit of a Clash of Clans, wouldn't he, Kevin?
Oh yeah, probably.
I liked how he said that he wanted to get a big TV, because I think that the way that lounge is there, that wall, that serving hatch wall, it's just crying out for a big 65-incher. You could do.
I don't know if they could show that on television. I don't know how the lighting would work.
Well, we've seen the last thing we saw projected on Coronation Street. It wasn't the Black Bull Butcher, wasn't it? And looked very, very good and realistic, apparently.
I'd like to see Carla explain that to Lisa. I bet you Lisa wouldn't find that funny at all.
Right, that is the end of that. So we had an awful lot of chat about the first story there, as always seems to be the case. But I think that the Swarla drama was pretty massive, and definitely there were huge steps forward there. The Todd and Theo story, they're just going at a good pace at the moment. I wouldn't say it was leaps and bounds forward for where it was, but every time we have another little rotation of this, Todd just gets deeper and deeper into his pit that he clearly needs some kind of help to get out of. Who are you giving a character of the week to? What are you scoring it?
I think I'm going to give the character of the week to Carla for finally standing her ground and telling Lisa that this is unacceptable, and I've been telling you that it is, and she lets, she's been so patient and nice and let Becky move in because she thought her life was in danger. But then I just really liked her standing up for herself and saying all the things that I think we've been wanting her to say. And I feel really bad for Lisa. I think that she's in a kind of impossible situation. Although it does feel a bit like if she snapped her fingers and just told Becky to go to Spain, it might solve itself. It's not that simple. But yeah, I think she's getting my character of the week, and my score for this week is going to be 4 spiky-haired spectres at the feast. And a lot of that really is for the Swarla storyline, especially that big scene on Wednesday and the great writing. W.H. Joe Parkinson. I'm sorry, I've forgotten who wrote Monday's episode, but some really great writing this week.
Yeah, there was. I agree.
And not just in the Swarla storyline either.
I'm struggling a little bit with the character of the week. I don't want to copy you, but I feel like Carla really is a pretty solid choice this week. I could easily go for a Todd or a Theo because they were really fun. I think I might just go for it. I might go Theo as a character of the week because I just find him absolutely fascinating. I think James's performance is very, very good. I love being kept on my toes there. And so just maybe for variety's sake, I'm going to say Theo as my character of the week. And I am also, and I'm not copying you here, but I was thinking it, I'm going to give this a 4 early 90s Annie Lennoxes out of 5. And I do like how that's been referenced because that's been a little bit of an internet meme calling Debbie Annie Lennox for years, hasn't it?
Cool.
So there we go. 4s and Carla's.
4s on the doors.
Yep. No, Carla and Theo. Right. What did you think, listeners? Let us know on the Facebook poll. Go on our group and tell us, or tweet us, or anything. I want to know. I want to know these things. Right. Shall we move on?